Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round one of the 2026 Drift Masters Championship, live from Rome in Italy at the Vallelunga circuit under the sun. My name is Ian Waddington and I'll be with you the whole season through alongside my very good friend Jacob Gettins. Jacob, welcome to Italy. We finally made it.
We finally made it. Oh, I'm so excited. It's been an absolute dream coming here. Everything from the people, the culture, the food I can't stop talking about. And then the driving. The driving's been insane in practice. Like this, out of the gate, you expect some drivers to have some things they need to work on, but looks real good.
It certainly does. Well, this is the season calendar. We're right here in Rome, Italy for this weekend. Then we head on over to Madrid for Spain for round two. And it's Kildare in Ireland for the home of Irish drifting before we move it to a brand new track in Finland where once again, nobody has the data. Then we take it to Riga, baby, in Latvia before we head to the Iron City in Ferropolis, Germany. And all roads lead to the final in Warsaw in Poland once again, where this is what happened last year, Jacob. It was a complete movie at that stadium, under 55,000 people, under the lights, incredible scenes.
Yeah, it was electric to say the least. Everybody packed in. There was chaos, there was crazy decisions, and unfortunately there was massive heartbreak for a previous champion, Piotr Vincek. But ultimately it came down to this insane battle, and I mean, another champion for the second time was crowned that night. It was amazing.
It certainly was amazing, and we did see Conor Shanahan crowned the two-time Drift Masters champion. And well, this weekend, could this be the foundation to set it off once again? Because there's already been some panic in the pits, but we'll get into that because things have not been easy for some of our drivers already so far. But down in the paddock, getting all the information, getting all those behind-the-scenes stories is the one and only, the beautiful Becky Evans. Becky, you're with us once again.
Nada.
So we're just waiting for Becky. She's just trying to find a cameraman, grab her microphone. So we're going to carry on with how we are. This is what the weekend schedule looks like here in Italy. We are just about to kick off qualifying today at 4:30 before tomorrow, exclusively on Red Bull TV, you will see our top 32 before we kick off our top 16 at 5:20, and we'll go all the way from 16 to one winner. As I say, the foundation of a championship could be set this weekend here in Italy. Or could it be? Because we see upset in Spain last year.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out to be any one of those drivers on the final podium.
Long sweeper into this inside clip, and you've got to power through it. You need full commitment through this section. You've dropped down about 2 meters in outside zone 3, and then you've really got to stretch the legs into the car into 4, and then it becomes a kind of choose your own adventure through this part of the track. Some drivers choosing to go really tight and throw a ton of angle late, but that is 5 and 6, and then we power back up slightly on an incline in this last zone, or second last zone 8, is where everything has been struggle. It's been struggles for a lot of drivers to figure out how to get through that, and then one last zone to wrap things up through 9. It's been an interesting track.
It certainly has, yeah. There's a few points there. Outside zone 4 is one that's been tricky. It's getting that and slowing the car down. And then outside zone 8, as you picked out. These are the qualifying rules, ladies and gentlemen. 2 runs of qualifying, the best run counts. Top 32 advance to the finals. We will be losing drivers today. And up to 8 championship points for the best 8 qualifiers. So you're finishing those top 8 in qualifying. You do claim some more points today over your finishing score tomorrow. Our judges this weekend, and as always for the rest of this season, we have David Kalas back in the hot seat as our head judge. We have Levi Maggie joining up the Drift Masters judging panel this year, and Rasmo Rias. But let's take a look at the drivers this weekend, Jacob, that have put their hat into the ring and said, I want to throw down with the best in Europe, the best in town this weekend. And we've got a stacked 40-plus driver grid.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, kicking this off, we've got a bunch of really interesting wild cards, your first 6 in there, and some cars you've never seen before. Alfa Romeo. We got an Alfa Romeo.
We certainly have got an Alfa Romeo, yeah. The top 6 drivers will be our wild cards making their way in before we see our first driver putting his hat into the ring, a brand new driver, Karim Hany, all the way over from Egypt. Before we start to get into the usual contenders, Harry Kerr as well, another driver from Ireland this weekend, throwing his hat in for a full season. But Yves Meyer, the big upset, changing car at the last minute, turning up this weekend in a GR Yaris.
Yeah, and then we see like Nikolass Bertans deciding to go full season. That could be a massive upset for a lot of different drivers. And then more into the drivers that you would more or less expect to see. Dwayne McKeever, new vehicle for the first 2 rounds. That's going to be really interesting. And here it is. This is kind of our top section now.
Yes, certainly is. Yeah, Laurie Heinen down there in the order, as you can see. This is the championship order, is how we finished 2025. As you can see, the two guys that finished top of the pot last year. Connor Shanahan, well, he has the target on his back once again. And this young man already, as we say, upset. But we will get back to that story as we head into qualifying. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the grandstand now starting to pack out. The track has been tested by the drivers. The line is dialed. The drivers are dialed. All scores reset to 0. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for qualifying. And on the line straight away with the first contender of 2026 will be a wild card from here in Italy, but Milan. Just up the road, Jacob, it will be Riccardo Tonali, 23 years of age in a Nissan Silvia S13, V8 turbo, 800 horsepower. Let's see what he's got as he comes off the line. Now we're going to walk and talk you through this as he flicks the car from left to right. Nice initiation, little dab of the handbrake into this long first outside zone. You can see him dropping out of that zone before he picks up into zone 2. Then he has to wash the car wide for 3. Now the tricky part that me and Jacob pointed out, outside zone 4, slow the car down but not too much and try and pick up inside zone 5. Back on throttle again for 6. Oh, he goes very wide there, outside zone 7, now 8. This is a very tricky zone. Use the rumble strip, but try not to push yourself away from the edge of the circuit. Full throttle into outside zone 9. Tonali across the line. Very good first benchmark there.
Yeah, great way to kick things off, and you've already started to see a bit of a taste of what it's going to be like throughout this event. Those sections of the track are definitely the toughest. Now the judges, they don't want to see, I mean, basically any handbrake. They kind of called it out. They're like, if you're going to slow this car down, let's use some angle to do it. And we do see this on this run, especially coming into 4, scrubbing that speed out. What I've found is the V8 cars are able to dig out of that hairpin a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Whereas the turbo cars kind of need to get a lot of angle checked up early before they enter the hairpin and then try to power through the whole thing. So it's going to be interesting when we get into top 32, but for right now, it's just about trying to find a spot in the show.
Yes, it is. I think that there was this outside zone for 8 for me was a surprise this morning.
Yeah.
You remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new circuit here at Drift Masters. Nobody has any data on this track. No one knows this track really too well. So this morning, every single driver, every spotter was in the spotters area watching that first group of practice. And outside zone 8 really surprised everyone because it took a lot of commitment. You have to come in there on big angle to slow the car down. And it's an amber zone for decel, which means no huge decel with the handbrake. It's all about slowing that car down just enough, but not too much. Here we go. The first score of 2026 drops in. It's going to be a 63.5 for Riccardo Tonali. And, well, he'll see how he gets on with that as we move through, but we expect the scores to ramp up dramatically as we get into the higher end of our championship. Move back to the line. Michele Landolfi, BMW E36. 2JZ underneath the bonnet, 900 horsepower. A little fist bump to the camera. He's feeling very, very confident.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, definitely decorated Pro 2 champion in 23, vice champion in 2025, and a very loud car.
Yes, certainly is a loud car as he comes off the line. Look for that flick across. And that white line there denoting the start of the scoring zone. Paints the edge of the circuit right to the edge of the track, and that's what the judges were looking for. Picks up that inner zone. Good job so far from Landolfi as he fires down. Now this is a tricky part of the circuit, but gets it done nicely. It slows the car down an angle, picks up inner 5, stands on the accelerator, big clutch kick. Oh, and struggles there on the transition. He now uses all of that curbing, but not really come to any.
One of the biggest conversations in the pit. Tire management is definitely playing a big part in this, but this to me is just seems to be just a touch too much grip in the car. Yeah, it wants to bite. It really wants to bite.
It certainly does want to bite. Yeah, and I think the problem is the track is very long, so you have got to manage that tire wear over these runs, and drivers would have been experimenting with that in practice earlier on. But a lot of the guys this morning, the biggest chat in the paddock was all about the rear gear.
Yeah.
What was the final drive in the car? And there was a lot of talk about that rear gear. What was it going to be? What was the perfect ratio for this circuit to not only dig yourself out of that hairpin, but give you enough wheel speed to pull you back up the hill after 8 across the line? This track has really kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit around 1.
I think it does, especially when it comes to car setup and what your crew is like. You know, if you were able to really get this dialed in quick, you're going to be in a great spot. But for a few drivers, it's taking a little bit longer than what they hoped for.
Yeah, it certainly is. A 61.5 drops in there for Michele Landolfi. And we start moving along now to our next wild card. And from France this time, it's going to be Anthony Rocci. BMW E36, 900 horsepower, VQ 35 underneath the bonnet. You were very happy with this. You were digging deep. You were trying to get all the info on this car. Looks like it's running well, making 900 horsepower. And he's flying so far. Here's Anthony as he fires through. Looks for outside zone 4. On throttle for a very long time now. Is that going to come to a fruition? It does as he picks up that inside zone. Back out to the edge of the circuit. Flicks the car back across again. Tidy job so far. Can he fulfill all of this zone? He certainly can. Now it's a dangerous part. Yeah, keeping the car on circuit there and not dropping a wheel. Judges saying if you're on the green part of the circuit past the white line, you're losing 1 point.
Yeah.
So not too much there to be lost. But one more, one couple of inches over into the gravel, and it's all lost.
Yeah, that's the tough part here. I do like that that Anthony was able to use the rumble strip to try and extend out 8, and that's something you're going to see possibly even in the highest ranked drivers because of the way that the zone 8 is built out. But that part was really smart. Unfortunately, just took a little bit too long to get on throttle. That meant that he went over into the gravel. But the first part of this run did look pretty solid. Judges do want to see you a little bit deeper through those inside zones. But you can already see through here, that car really ton of forward bite in it. And then getting onto that rumble strip, unfortunately just a bit late. And that's what ends up pushing it over into the green section of things.
Okay, so Nikolass just coming over the headset saying, actually, Ian, the curbs are -1. The green part is a wheel off, so it's a bigger deduction.
Oh, all right. Well,
I tell you what the problem was. In the driver's briefing, we were playing Tetris, not listening to the judges. You had me hooked on.
I know.
Tetris.
I got to stop getting you introduced to new things.
There we go. We're all learning. It's round 1. We're all getting ourselves back into the zone. As you can see, the beautiful sights and sounds here in Rome, in Italy, as we await the score to drop in there for Anthony.
It is such an incredible facility here. The more we get to
go
around and explore.
There we go, 72.2. Judges quite liking that one. And see the scores there on the side from our judges, exactly what they were scoring and where they were scoring or where points are deducted. Now back to the start line to a man that we all know very well here at Drift Masters. It is, of course, Manuel Vacca, a man that competed at Drift Masters for many years, took a step back and decided to now help a lot of the drivers in the paddock, and you'll see his name on some of the cars. Decided that, seeing as his hometown, why not throw your hat in the ring and throw down this weekend. Big decel though on initiation as Manuel Vacca now puts the back end of that BMW E36 where it needs to be. Clean line through inside zone 2. Down the hill for outside zone 4, slows the car down nicely now, needs to pick up the throttle nice and early, drive that car through and into outside zone 6. Looking good so far from Manuel Vacca. Wheel over the edge of the circuit, pops the wheel up onto the curb and comes out of 8 super early, and that is the tricky part as he goes back through his own smoke for the final outside zone and across the line.
Yeah, the wind is basically blowing up away from that hairpin, and it has caused a bit of havoc for a few drivers, getting some smoke back on the line as they're coming back through. So I think that's a bit of an issue that he ran into, but the big handbrake pull at the beginning there, I think that's going to deduct some points. The judges asked for a big clutch kick. They want a big feint. They want a big clutch kick.
Yeah, a big feint, a big opposite flick into that first the line, for the scoring zone, into first outside zone.
Yeah.
Not what they want to see. They want to see the handbrake over that line either. So I feel like a lot of points are going to be lost there because the car should be set on angle. You should be on throttle at that point. It's go time.
Yeah, and it just wasn't. So it's tough. I mean, the rest of the run looked pretty tidy. It's just an incredibly difficult track to get everything filled out.
Oh wow, look at this, a 72.2 as well. We're seeing a few mirror image scores dropping in as we start to get through the last of our wild cards for this event. And up next on the line is a man all the way from Denmark, Mads Andreasen, BMW E92 M3 Eurofighter. BMW V8 turbo underneath the bonnet, 900 horsepower. Now, I must say, this man looking very, very good in practice.
Yeah.
And very confident to see what he can do right now, and all eyes are on him on qualifying. As he lights off the tyres and slams that car through the gears. Already got that car on full tilt. Again, another driver, big handbrake drag through initiation. The car looks dialed, though, as he sticks it through outside zone 1. A little wobble there, trying to pick up inside zone 2. Pass down the hill was Andreasen now selling that car on angle, back on throttle nice and early, deep on the inner 5. And once again, the smoke playing havoc here in Italy, as Jacob said, blowing across the circuit, puts the wheel on the curb, and you can see what it does to the car, though. Fires the car out of that outside zone 8 super early. Into 9, stands on the throttle, left foot brake and across the line.
Another driver with an interesting engine package, the M60, a 4-liter V8 from BMW, the 32 valve. It's definitely an interesting one. Yeah, big turbo on it. Another engine I've actually had back in the past, because of course it's weird, so I would own it at some point in time. But yeah, for Mads, just didn't get comfortable in this run. I felt like right from the beginning with that big handbrake pull, you could tell he just wasn't super happy about it.
No.
And then through the rest of this run, it was just kind of fighting after that, and that's the tough part. When the entry doesn't go your way, as a driver, you're stuck in your own head for so much of the run.
Oh, 100%. And this track is reliant on commitment on initiation.
Yeah.
A lot of drivers saying that this track flows really nicely when you commit to it. Once you've committed to it, this track flows so well because all of the zones are on the perfect radius.
Yeah.
So it just flows very, very well. And obviously we stick those inner clips or inner zones in to push the guys wider, stop them cutting the inside corner. And yeah, I mean, when you see the guys that get the track, it flows so well, and it really does lend itself to tandem battles, which we'll get into tomorrow in our top 32, as we await the score to drop in there from Mads Andreasen from Denmark.
I didn't realize he's been the Danish national champion since 2019.
He's just held that title.
I think just retire at that point, man. Like, let someone else have a shot. Just go become a spotter.
He's just holding it down. Well, there we go, 72.5, and judges seeing things that they don't like, and I'm going to say the initiation, the commitment on initiation is what they're not like. Yeah, David Klimas nods his head. He said, you haven't forgotten in the off-season. You still know what you're talking about.
I mean, David Klimas doesn't even have a handbrake in his car, so
no.
that's what, yeah, he just tried.
What handbrake?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, on the line, an interesting one. Now, I know you're very intrigued with this car.
I love it.
Lukasz Tasiemski from Poland. We've seen this man before as a wild card at Drift Masters. Driving this weekend an Alfa Romeo Veloce V6 bi-turbo. A very quiet car, but gets the job done. Doing a good job so far as well. This man, a very good line driver, an incredible sim drifter. As Lukasz Tasiemski now gets himself in to inside zone 5. Full throttle as he comes down the hill, flicks that car across the circuit, looks for outside zone 8. Now, can he fulfill it? He certainly can. Stands on the throttle. Very nice line. Keeps it just clean as he looks for the final outside zone. Tasiemski stands on the foot brake and puts it across the line.
That was solid. Absolutely solid, especially for a car that's running, I believe, the lowest horsepower, around 620 horsepower.
620. But it doesn't look like it's struggling.
No, it really doesn't. And even through practice, everything seems sorted. Definitely not, you know, I mean, you're going to write home about this car just because of the way it looks and the way it sounds. But there wasn't a ton of aggression at any point in time during practice, but seemed so comfortable all the way through. Bi-turbo V6, like super unique.
It kind of lends itself to nice line drive in this car for some reason.
Yeah.
And I can't put my finger on it. I need to have a little bit more, better look around this car.
I believe it is a different chassis that's underneath of it.
Okay.
I don't want to give up his spot. I don't know if I want to blow up his spot, but
okay.
Yeah, and it's a Alfa Romeo.
Keeping some information there, Jacob?
Maybe on a second run we'll talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
Yeah, Quattro Frogialio. I've got that way wrong.
You absolutely crucified that.
2.9 liter V6. So really interesting. The headlights aren't headlights; those are intakes. They're air filters.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great car. I just love it.
I mean, look, it's getting the job done right now for Tasiemski. We'll see what his score is, and it looks like he's going to be way up there. It's 88.5. Tasiemski now starts to really force the scores up. Now we're going to start to get into our usual contenders, and you'll see these guys throughout the championship all year. The first one of those is going to be Karim Hany, all the way from Egypt. This young man made a big impression on me in the off-season as I headed over to the UAE to see some drifting out there. The G87 M2, the first one on the grid and off the line. It's Karim Hany, 900 horsepower, 2JZ, flicks that car from left to right. This car only arrived at the track last night. A big panic to get it here, and him and Benedictus Cherba partnering up for the 2026 season. Looking good so far, though, as Karim Hany, an absolute devil behind the wheel, stands on the accelerator, picks up those inner zones a little deep, though. And starts to get the car set up, flicks it across the circuit, looks for outside zone 8, big drag on the handbrake. That's going to sacrifice some line more, makes a correction and keeps it in there, though, as Hany fires it back for the final outside zone. Almost goes too wide, a little scrappy, but job done.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. It looks like he was working that car pretty hard. We talk a lot about forward bite. I think this is a good example of it. His launch was crazy coming off the line. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this car is really going to want to shoot forward. So when he gets on throttle, you'll see that the car almost kind of squats a little bit in the rear and it launches forward. And you can tell not a lot of angle through 3 and just kind of driving through it. Now, it's still enough to consider it a drift, but the problem with that is when you do get on throttle, if you have some of these big sweeping corners, the car doesn't want to stay at angle all the way through. It wants to drive straight, which can work really well. I mean, if you're chasing and it's like that, you're going to stay in someone's door the whole time. But in qualifying, usually the setup you're going to run is a little bit looser, a little bit easier to drive. So we'll see what kind of score comes in for Big Karim.
Yeah, Big Karim, as he's known online, has a huge presence online as well. This man has a great amount of followers. Such a nice guy as well behind the scenes. And walking around the paddock earlier on, Jacob, he's saying, like, this is a dream. Just to be...
Jaunums Latvijā Ant-on. Iekraušanas un noliktavas tehnika Ant-on. Kad vajag spēku, ieslēdz on.
Earned your right to be here at Drift Masters, so, you know, soak it all up and enjoy yourself. And he said, all I want to do is qualify now. I said, well, that time will come.
Yeah.
That time will come, and you'll have 3 of the best judges in town scrutinising every move you make on circuit. Well, here we go. Score drops in. It's going to be a 70 for Karim Hany's first shot at qualifying here at Drift Masters. As we move it back to the start line to our next contender, as we Konstantyn Shchurenko, all the way from Ukraine, teaming up with the Shanahans this year. The Trinity and Shanahan's team teaming up for a season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's a lot of great minds all put into one place.
There certainly is. The 3 identical cars as he comes off the line. 2 JZ powered Toyota GT86. Nice initiation for Shchurenko as he puts the foot flat to the floor, fulfills all of that first outside zone now as he picks up the inner little wobble for outside zone 3. Fires down the hill, good angle, but big speed, and it's going to push him very wide on the inner, and he sacrifices that inner zone as he now works his way back down the hill again, squeezing the accelerator in the Toyota GT86. Now the mistakes start to creep in, and he knows that missing that inner is going to be bleeding points, but nevertheless, fires it and gets it backwards across the line and into the gravel.
If it's any consolidation, it was the worst run he's done all day.
It was the worst.
Everything else in practice was great.
Yeah.
Just this one, for some reason, didn't come together for him. I'm not sure, if the track has changed since he's been on it or what all is going on, but yeah, man, that hurts.
Yeah, and it will be a 0 confirmed by our judges, backwards across the line. You can see the line right there at the edge of the gravel trap. And there's an over-rotation, and Shchurenko looking good.
I know.
And I think what happened there, and I'll be brutally honest, I think that missing inner 5 threw him.
Yeah, I think
because he kind of watched it go past, and he was like, now I need to do something magic.
And everything else looked good up until that point, so I agree. I 100% agree.
You can see him, he kind of panicked then, because he's kind of then trying to rescue the rest of the run, make a bit of an impact to try and claw some points back. Didn't work for him, and I think he was trying to go full angle, full power, full tilt through outside zone 9, and when he got into it, it was a little looser maybe than what it was in practice.
Yeah.
And the car just washed off circuit.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I think it didn't seem to have as much side bite. So when the car is sideways, it doesn't want to slow down or straighten out. It just wants to keep sliding, and a good indication of that is 5, as well as spinning out at the very end, right?
Yeah.
The car just wants to keep going sideways.
Certainly does. Well, our incredible track team from Drift Masters and from the Vallelunga circuit are here cleaning up, and those guys just trying to get rid of some of that gravel and make the track as consistent as possible for all of our drivers.
Yeah, it was definitely a good off. I mean, I believe it's past the line. It's not. I mean, it's not crucial. It's nice that they're cleaning it up.
Yeah.
That's quite the drop-off, though.
Yeah, there's been a few guys, I think, washing a little wide there in practice.
On the gravel,
exploring the extreme edges of the circuit, should we say.
You kind of have to really get a good run.
That's our excuse when we go drifting and we're really bad.
I tend to find the edges more often than not.
Oh, you ran the wall? No, I crashed into it.
I do need a new wheel, but no, you need to find the edge of the track in order to know where it is, right?
Yeah, of course. And there's a lot of guys out there who openly hold their hands up and say, I'll go out there, push as hard as I can, find the limit, and then I know I can come back 10%, and that's probably a good qualifying or lead line, which is what the judges are looking for.
He did manage to hit our drone with a rock.
Did he?
Impressive, yeah.
I missed that.
That's okay. Yeah, so look at I need to hire them to do my driveway. Almost done already. Incredible. No, I mean, it's been good. You and I watched a lot of practice, if not all of practice.
Yeah, first time. I don't normally watch a lot of practice because I don't want to get too, flooded with runs and
You leave it to me.
Yeah,
you're out getting the stories.
I'm a simple
I'm watching
man.
the
Yeah, I'm a simple man. But I often don't try to consume too much drifting before we go live and commentate. But today I was quite intrigued. A new circuit. It was a learning curve for a lot of drivers, and I think for me, what was interesting was seeing a lot of guys on the start line taking solo runs.
Right.
Even the biggest names, James Dean, Piotr Wieńczek, running solo runs, getting that line dialed, getting the initiation right. And that, for me, was something that was very interesting, because normally we would see these guys get some twin battle practice under the belt.
Yeah, and then they would have a couple of solo in the beginning, but most of it's going to be tandem.
Most of it will be tandem practice, as we see there, our track staff in. And you can see the wind. Look at the wind.
I know.
Very breezy here. The sun is showing, not a cloud in the sky here above the Vallelum circuit, but the breeze blowing across is quite...
It's been relentless. Like, it hasn't stopped, it hasn't slowed down, and that's definitely blown some smoke up as we take a look at Enver Haskasap.
Yeah, next driver on the line from Turkey. This had Silvia S15 2 JZ underneath the bonnet, 1,000 horsepower, making a return for a full season of the Drift Masters Championship. Enver Haskasap stares down the circuit. Our start line marshal, Marcin.
He's back.
He's back. We wouldn't replace him with anybody else, do you know that?
No.
If he said he was retiring, we'd say there's no, you can't retire.
Yeah, we're just going to bring you back.
We're just going to bring you back constantly. So our start line marshal, Marcin, just waiting there for our marshals to get back into their position before we give him the green light. And our traffic light system back in effect again, 2026, plus our laser for our tandem battles. And we go off the line, and the Haskasap. Nice transition, gets that car set up nicely. Looked like he stalled the car up, but no handbrake as he now stands on the accelerator. Very odd line there for inner two as he flicks the car down the hill for 4. Off at brakes, trying to slow the car down. He's going to go wide again. Another driver struggling from 4 to 5, and now starts to unleash his 1,000 horsepower as he flicks that car wildly across the circuit. Back on throttle, comes off of outside zone 8 a little early, looks for the transition, the final zone, slows it down the handbrake, back on throttle and across the line.
Wonder if there was a mechanical. That seems strange. At first I thought maybe the handbrake was an issue, because the way that it almost looked like he went to handbrake the car and then it didn't do what he wanted it to do. So, but then I thought I saw, as you said, a handbrake there on 8.
Yeah.
Gets back on it. This zone doesn't look too bad. I mean, he's got good line coming through it, but comes off just a bit early. Then you got to go straight
lines it, yeah.
Through 2, which means you're gonna push too wide through 3, and then 4 you're gonna have too much speed. And this is one of those tracks where there's the only real spot to kind of change up how the run's gonna go is really after 5. So if the beginning of your run gets a little off track, you can kind of cheat 5 and reset at 5. Or if the first part of your run is good, but then you miss 5, the rest of the run's going to be terrible. So it's tough. It's really unforgiving. A lot of drivers that we wouldn't expect to struggle have struggled with certain parts of this. What has been interesting is we'll get to them in a bit. There's a few drivers that jumped out here. 4.7 for Enver.
Yeah, low score there. And for me, I feel, looking back at the replay there, once again, a slow motion shots back for 2026 from Red Bull TV. I feel like he had the car way too gripped up. Now, a man that has been looking good in practice, incredibly good, is a Finnish driver, Teemu Asunmaa. BMW M2 N50 turbo, 880 horsepower. Now this man, for the first run of practice, was looking like he was on rails. Sets that car up lovely for outside zone 1. Look at this full commitment from Asunmaa as he now stands on the throttle. A little adjustment of angle as he comes through 2 and 3. Fires the car down the hill. Big flick, and he's going to go wide. Oh, he flicks it. Wow, how did he get that done? As Asunmaa, could he be the man this year that all eyes now start to focus on, because he's been looking deadly in practice? Mistake there though, too much angle. Couldn't have the commitment to fulfill all of that zone. Final outside zone coming up and across the line for Teemu Asunmaa.
It's we forget really quick that last year was his first full year drifting. Like that's how quick he's come around to this. 6-time rally champ in Finland, comes over to drifting. I mean, not many people would even get around a track like this in their second year, let alone hucking angle like that. If he can dial that back just a touch, it's a fantastic run. And I don't remember him throwing it this hard in practice.
No, I think he went out there and said, on the first run, I'm going to do a do-or-die run. Instead of doing it on the second run, maybe I'll do the do-or-die first.
Get it out of the way.
And then get it out of the way and then get it out of my system. And then, I mean, it could be a game plan, because then you know on the second run what the cutoff could potentially be.
That's a good point, yeah. And
So
you got to
then-
figure out how hard you have to drive.
Yeah, instead of, do I put in a safe run now and only score a 70, and then the cutoff is a high 70 or a low 80, and then I've got to try and do a do or die, but also, hey,
Yeah, no, it's good. I like the
there's
strategy.
been a lot in the off-season this year that has changed.
Yeah.
A lot of guys reworking, re-engineering, rethinking the process. Could this be something else we see in qualifying for 2026?
What a beautiful shot.
That's unbelievable.
One of the first questions I asked in our production meeting was...
We asked 2 questions.
Yeah.
Slow-mo on onboards.
Yeah,
And
those are back, right?
yeah, the production
No
team.
big changes this year.
No big changes. The guys at Red Bull TV said, hey, they're back. Don't worry, we've got you. We've
all
got you
good.
covered.
Yeah,
So
it's
there
all
we
good.
go.
Oh man, happy to be doing this again. Happy to be back.
It's good to have you back, Jacob.
Good to have you back. Not that was ever in question.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Long season, a lot of thinking,
Exactly,
a lot of
yeah.
plans.
A lot of re-watching the broadcasts. Well, we're waiting for the
Yeah.
score to drop in there for Teemu Asunmaa, and it's going to be a 77. So yeah, just a few mistakes creeping into that run as we head back to the start line. Some work to be done there potentially for Asunmaa as we go on the line to Harry Kerr, the man from Ireland. A wild card in 2025 now for a full season as he jumps into his BMW E46 F22 2JZ 850 horsepower off the line. Harry Kerr here to make a name for himself as he puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. A little dab of the handbrake, sets himself up nicely. Harry Kerr on throttle, super early, collects 2 and 3. Looking good for the transition down the hill. Big handbrake drag though, not what the judges were looking for. As he finds in a 5 though, now starts to work his way back down the hill. Can he clean this one up as Harry Kerr fires it to outside zone 8 on the curb deep, but keeps it absolutely pinned right to the edge of the circuit. Harry Kerr looks for the final outside zone, a little dab of the left foot brake across the line. What a statement from the young Irishman.
Not that if you watched IDC at all, if you watched any Irish drifting, this should not come as a shock to you at all. He's one of the most exciting drivers we've seen come up through it. I mean, the Shanahans, obviously, James Dean. I mean, there's so many drivers that have come through that program, but Harry's one that people have been asking for a very long time, and I'm so pumped he's here. He used that curbing so well to be able to extend that drift out, and the car setup looks good. I know earlier on in practice they were really trying to figure out the tire situation, how much they could get out of it, how much life. But for right now, I mean, I don't know if there's any tire left on it, but it looked really, really good all the way through this run. I'm sure the judges are sitting there going, well, I wish you would have stayed in this, another 20 centimeters or something like that. But I do really like the way he used the curbing there to get around that corner. Could he have done it without it? Maybe. I feel like he would have exited a little sooner.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the curbing is the key here, because watching a lot of the higher end finishers in the championship who had the last practice session the day before we went live for qualifying, they were all jumping onto the curb with big angle.
Yeah.
And Harry would have been up in the spotters area watching what the best in the business do. I think he went back to the paddock and said, I know what I need to do now to get outside zone 8 completely fulfilled. And you don't want to, you'd rather lose 1 point on the curb than a whole bunch of points by falling out of the zone early.
Yeah, exactly. If you need to sacrifice a little bit here or there to get the rest of the run good, then why not?
Exactly that. Well, I think this could be a good score dropping in, and it is a 90.2 for Harry Kerr, his first qualifying run of 2026, and what a statement from this young man. Well, we go back on the line to a man that redesigned, re-engineered and reworked this A90 Super in the off-season alongside some good friends of his. It's going to be Dave Egan, the man that used to sit alongside me. Well, he now sits down there on circuit in his carbon Kevlar Supra. Big, heavy breathing there from Egan. Point to prove this season. Rough start last year and a rough championship for Dave Egan, but what can he do? Everything reset to 0 as he clicks through the gears. Fires that Supra across the circuit, outside zone 1, collected so far. Now starts to dial on the angle as he works his way in to inner 2. Very nice line from Dave Egan as he puts it down the hill for 4, slows the car. Can he pick up the inner? He's going to put it at a big angle, stands on it, makes it work, but he almost triangulates outside zone 5. Gets those nerves shaken off, he puts it to outside zone 8, comes out super early, stands on the throttle, 1 last zone left to go for Egan as he puts it at an angle, checks up and across the line.
Oh, that could have washed out so many different times. This, to me, is jitters for Dave.
Yeah.
He had so much pressure on him last year. I mean, he was kind of the talking point at every round, and he put all that weight on his own shoulders, and he carried it quite well. But now there's no more excuses for Dave. He's had some of the best hands in drifting, get into this vehicle, and everything's been reworked. Not that the car was bad before, but it's just It's just different. It wasn't set up for his style, and now it seems to be. But, you know, he said the car's great, the car's perfect. It's all on me now. So not just me putting that pressure on him. That's Dave's own words.
Of course, yeah.
So,
and I think that's a part of it. You know, we're at round one. We're at a brand new circuit. All scores are set to 0. Everybody has a point to prove. You know, everyone's doing a lot of work in the off-season, reworking. And I mean, it's the whole paddock have done this.
Yeah.
The whole paddock have reworked, redesigned, and re-engineered their cars behind the scenes. And now it's time to put it into motion. All that hard work, you know, 5 months of hard work and graft and everyone jamming together to make sure this whole program for these drivers works flawlessly. And it all comes down to that one person sat behind the steering wheel, and Dave Egan probably felt that pressure a little bit there, sat on the line, and probably had some flashbacks from round 2 last year in Spain. As we wait for the score to drop in for Dave Egan, it's going to be a 68. Judges not liking it. Almost over rotation at outside zone 5, and coming out of 8 a little early. There was a check-up as well at 9,
yeah.
So a little bit to clean up there for Dave Egan as we go back on the line. George Christoforou from Cyprus, BMW 1 Series back once again. 1,100 horsepower, Jacob.
He's got the power to put down, that's for sure.
He certainly has. Spins a line, wheels off the line. As George Christoforou now fires his car into initiation. Off the handbrake nice and early. Now gets that car settled for outside zone 1, looking good. Very nice line through too, but sacrifices 3 as he fires down the hill. Oh, wheel on the edge of the grass now. Oh, and a big bit of understeer, has to really collect the car again in inner 5. As George Christoforou licks the car across, up onto the curb, and once again the curb not playing ball, pushes him out of outside zone 8, and it's starting to get a little scrappy for George Christoforou as he's going to fall out of 9 and across the line.
The hard part for these drivers, this first 14, let's get into, they're in the first practice sessions of the day. So they've actually had the most amount of time in between their practice session and coming back out here today. I did have a conversation with Mika Keskakorpi about swapping that around to make it more difficult for our top 14 drivers. He wasn't a fan of that.
I was going to say, how did that go?
He was not a fan of that idea. But that is part of it, is that George would have waited 2.5, 3 hours since he drove last, and the track has evolved. You've had 2 more sessions. You've had 28 other drivers go on the track, put more rubber down. The temp has changed, so that's the toughest part for them.
But you got to look at it on the other hand, because now the top end of our championship have had to wait all this time for our qualifiers to go, plus a break.
I know.
I don't know. Where's the middle ground?
I hear you. Listen, there's nothing perfect.
We should just do a hat with tickets, and you pull a ticket, and that's your qualifying run. How about that?
No qualifying.
Like a Delhi line. A Delhi line.
Right, just let them go out and do it whenever. I say that, just whenever they want to go out.
That could be chaos.
I don't know.
Be like herding kittens.
I like it.
Well, here we go. A 75.7 drops in for George Christoforou. And he'll be happy with that. Some things to clean up for sure as we go back on the line to a new wild card, but a man that is not unfamiliar with drifting is, of course, the one and only Simen Olsen, teaming up with the Dean M Sport guys this year. James Dean, driving James Dean's Nissan Silvia S14.9 2JZ, 1,130 horsepower. This should be enough to make his way around the circuit. Oh, and a little wander on outside zone 1 as Simen Olsen now collects himself. A little shallow on inner 2, but gets the job done for free. Down the hill, scrubs the speed, dials on the angle. Simen Olsen collects inner 5. Stands on the accelerator and puts all that power towards the tarmac as Simen Olsen looks for outside zone 8. A big clutch kick just about keeps the wheel into it as he looks for the final outside zone. Simen Olsen wheeling that car, left foot brake locked across the line.
Another driver where there's no excuses except for the driving with this. This is one of James's favorite cars.
Yeah.
Even
Ienāc pēc sava bonusa. Fēniks, spēle tikai sākas.
He's been in the S chassis before.
100%.
He's driven 2Js before.
He has all the accreditation as well. You know, this guy has been around. He's done the driving Norwegian as well, which is, you know, there's
a pedigree that just comes with being Norwegian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's Irish, Polish, Finnish, Norwegians. If you come from there, there's a standard that's set. So it's not a bad run by any means, but maybe not indicative of what he's actually able to do.
Of course.
To talk about nerves, this looks like maybe a little nervous.
A little nervous run, yeah. I mean, again,
I would be too, though.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
Watching
here right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's not bad, but he could definitely do better.
He certainly can. An 82.5 for Simen Olsen's first qualifying run of 2026. Brand new car, brand new team. He only drove this car just last year at the round in Ireland. Now, a surprise this weekend was this man, Yves Meyer from Switzerland. didn't decide to jump into his Toyota Supra A90. Decided to bring a brand new car, GR Yaris 2JZ, 930 horsepower. Looked like he was struggling with the car in practice. Now, can he get it to work flawlessly in qualifying? Was into outside zone 1, stands on the accelerator. So strange to see this car on circuit, but looks at home, but misses inner 2. As Yves Meyer fires down the hill, carrying a lot of speed. He's going to go very wide, catches a whole bunch of understeer, almost drops it onto the grass. As Yves Meyer now going to have to really work to get himself back on that perfect qualifying line. Meyer fires it in to outside zone 8, dials on the angle, it's big angle, he's almost over-rotated, he has!
Oh. Yeah, rough go, and you wonder how much practice he's even had in this car. I don't know when it actually showed up for him, but I wonder if they're shutting it. It's not moving. It's not a great sign for Yves Meyer.
No, maybe can't select reverse. He's just gonna go forward.
Yeah, tough go. I don't know how much time he had with this vehicle. We were all shocked when it rolled in. I didn't even notice it until we went for the parade last night.
Well,
and we thought it was a WRC car.
We were in the rental car going to the parade, and I said, oh, that's cool. They've got a WRC car leading out the parade.
Yeah.
And then somebody from the background said, that's Yves Meyer's new comp car. And I was like, why did he change car?
Yeah.
And I guess that's one of the questions that we need to ask Yves Meyer. Maybe we'll get Becky down there at some point this weekend and ask him the question.
Yeah.
Why, when he was getting so comfortable last season in that A90, he seemed to be, one of the drivers that really was figuring out that chassis, and they put so much time and development into that car, to then for 2026 switch it up and change chassis. For me, it didn't make any sense, but hey, look, I mean, I'm not sad about seeing this car on circuit by any means.
No.
This was a Formula Drift Japan, an ex-pro car, so it has heritage as well.
Yeah, and the other part too is just getting comfortable with it. The wheelbase is going to be a little different. I mean, it's still a decent wheelbase. We talked about this. It's very similar to an S chassis, believe it or not. It looks smaller than it actually is. There's just almost no overhang over the front or the back. So, yeah.
Yeah, very strange, but we will get into that as Yves Meyer's score drops in. It will be a 0 and over rotation. Big mistakes creeping in there. Doesn't look like the easiest car maybe to drive.
No,
to be honest with you.
And all of his notes are with other chassis.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very different. I do want to do a bit more of an inspection on it and figure out what the suspension setup's like.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I later. We'll
go
dig
deep, and have a look around it. I mean, we did get a brief look around it at our street parade, which was held last night. Massive thank you to the local city, the governors and the police, the local police, for allowing that to happen. And I mean, I've got to say, a massive pat on the back to Drift Masters, staff behind the scenes, the managers, the directors, for making that happen, because it was so good to see all of those drivers take their race cars down to such a historic part of Italy, park them up, and see all of the locals coming out, asking the questions, talking about Drift Masters, taking photos, getting signatures from our drivers. And it was a very good evening, Jacob. I enjoyed myself.
We made some new drifting fans last night.
We did make a lot of new drifting fans. Well, as we get our track cleared up, we go back on the start line to this man, Nasser Alharbali. Did make a debut in Drift Masters in 2024. Didn't have a very good season. He's back now, 2026, in a brand new chassis. It's a supercharged V8 Nissan 400Z as he fires that car in. Nasser Alharbali, a point to prove this year. Did incredible things in the Polish Championship. And now said he feels like he's ready for more European drifting. Wow, incredible speed down the hill. Can he keep a hold of it? Can he collect it? He certainly can. Just drops that wheel in to inner zone 5 as he opens up the throttle, comes down the hill, and Nasser Alharbali looking way more comfortable than he was in practice. This is very good from Nasser Alharbali, the man from El Salvador, residing in Dubai, fires it across the line. A job done.
The correction he made mid-zone in 8 was crazy, because it looked like he was about to shoot right off. We'll get to that in a second, but right out of the gate, he swings that car around. He doesn't need to be driving this. He's got a perfectly good S13 in the paddock right now, and he wasn't even sure if he was going to drive it, but man, I'm happy he did. He looks so comfortable in this. Car floats out nicely. We're not seeing a lot of big corrections. Little touch of left foot brake there. Maybe could have been a touch closer, but these are all just very, very small critiques all the way through. But watch this. He's about to dig out and just comes off. I don't even know what he did. But the car looked like it was ready to shoot out, and he's able to massage it to stay in that zone. So great job, expert level driving. Use the rumble strips correctly to make sure he got through the rest of it. A solid run.
A very solid run, yeah, an incredible run there for Nasser Alharbali, looking comfortable. And this is a man that turned up to Drift Masters in 2024, and kind of really, it was a whole new world to him, European drifting, and I think he felt a little nervous. He didn't have the best of seasons, and he did the right thing. He took that step back, went and did some more European drifting on some other national championships, and then said, right, I'm ready now. They built the car in the UAE, they shipped it to Europe, and here we go. And 84 drops onto the board for Nasser Alharbali and slips himself into third position at the moment. He's looking confident, he's looking strong. You're back on the line, though, to another carbon Kevlar car. It is, of course, the one and only Nikolass Bertans from Latvia. The HGK Eurofighter sits on the line. It says it's got a big boy V8 underneath the bonnet, which takes 1,100 horsepower. Well, let's see if he can put all of that into practice as he flicks the car from left to right. Again, another car with huge pedigree under its belt as Bertans collects inside zone 2. Looking good, this young man, really doing some good things in drifting in Latvia. Oh, wow, what a line through inside zone 5. Opens up the throttle super early. Nikolass Bertans not messing around here in Italy. Oh, a dab of the handbrake halfway through the zone, though. The judges won't like that. It was a mistake and a correction as he stands on the foot brake and sacrifices sum of 9.
That car is so fast. It's just
so quick.
It's just so fast. That's really what it comes down to. And I mean, people have been talking about him for years and just waiting for the right opportunity, and now he's got it in this Eurofighter, and he looks really, really solid in a huge disruption in Latvia last year, and I'm hoping it becomes a disruption in the entire championship again. Maybe not indicative of exactly what he wants to do in this, but it's just so much vehicle to be able to go around. Look how calm he is behind the wheel, too.
Yeah.
Right here. Probably didn't want to do that, but it did get him to extend it a little bit. Most drivers are going to pull the handbrake just to settle the vehicle. I thought there was a bit of an extension there, but it even still came up a touch short. So a little bit to improve on. I think the score is going to be decent, but still needs more as absolutely beautiful shots continue.
Yeah, look at this. Absolutely phenomenal. And we've missed this. The off-season felt like it was forever ago.
I did rewatch a lot of rounds in the off-season. Yeah.
Went back, listen to yourself.
No, I muted it.
Well, there we go. Score drops in at 86.5, and I think a lot of points bled there from that handbrake on outside zone 8. Look, I think he had to do it to extend it. You're right, Jacob, but not the right place to do it.
Nah.
Right, back on the line. Clint Van Oort all the way from the Netherlands. And Nissan 200X 2JZ S14, 900 horsepower. Clint Van Oort doing a lot of driving in the off-season in the Middle East. Said he feels a little bit more comfortable this season now. Qualifying has always been a demon of Clint Van Oort. What can he do? Very nice initiation for Clint Van Oort. Fulfills all of outside zone 1, collects 2 beautifully. Van Oort looked like he's on a flyer right now. Can he keep it? Full carbon collected as he comes down the hill. He always grabs a whole load of understeer, stands on the throttle, triangulates it, but makes it work. As Van Oort now looks for 7 and 8 as he comes down the hill, makes it work as he stays in 8 just about towards the end of the zone. Now left foot brake locked as he puts it into outside zone 9 and across the line.
Steering it with the left foot brake completely locked up. Yeah. This is the most serious Clint Van Oort has ever taken drifting.
Yeah.
You and I had a chance to kind of chill with the team, really get a lot of notes. The amount of work they put in the offseason, they designed their own suspension.
Yeah.
They just went, you know what, we know what we want out of it, we know what we want to do. We can't quite find what we're looking for in the market right now. We're just going to build it ourselves. They went out and spent almost a week practicing, rented some facilities. Like, this is crazy high-level stuff. So, yeah, I mean, the run here from Clint, just a bit aggressive, just overshooting in a few spots. So, same thing, though, with all the suspension updates, everything else. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. The track, you know, you need to get used to, the vehicle, all of that. So, really, really good run here from Clint. But as with everybody, I'm sure there's a little bit more left on the table. Unless you got 100, there's still something more you could do.
Exactly that. And once again, look at that wheel off. And these guys, you say, Jacob, really getting to work in the off-season. Again, another driver that, you know, drove all off-season and then still had the time to do some development work and get that car where it needed to be. Clint Van Oort, though, the demon was always qualifying.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like he's shaken that beast off his back, and he looks like he's in good form. 77 drops on Clint Van Oort.
Will that be enough, though? That was a big question we had before.
Oh, we had.
Where's the cutoff?
Well, we'll talk about that as we get through the second half of qualifying runs, and we'll see where we stand. Diogo Correa back from Portugal, back for another season of Drift Masters. Switched up the front end on this car now, an E92, but put a later front end on the car. Same body underneath, though, as Diogo Correa still running that Mercedes-Benz turbocharged engine underneath the bonnet. As Correa looking good so far as he fires down the hill. Big left foot brake lock up. Will that control the car? It certainly does. Navigates his way around that inner zone. Now as he fires down the hill, looks for outside zone 8, puts the car where it needs to be and falls out instantly. And that outside zone 8 really catching a lot of these drivers out as he gets into 9 and falls out and back in again and across the line.
Whenever you see a left foot brake like that at the end, it means that that car has a lot of forward drive. It really wants to push forward, and using that left foot brake allows you to get the back end to come back around.
Yeah.
It's kind of pivoting on it. So anytime you're seeing that, you know more or less what's going on with the vehicle. And even with the shot we had previous to that, the wheel tucking up behind the fender, the suspension is soft, this car wants to go. And I feel like this track has evolved a lot over all the practice runs. Because normally during qualifying, these guys are not this gripped up.
No.
And and I don't remember him being this gripped up in practice either.
No.
So I'm not going to put all the blame on the track and say, oh, there's nothing they can do about it. But, you know, if you're another driver, you're sitting up a little bit later on, maybe take a quick note of this, because this is what it seems to be doing on this track. Man, look at the lean in the suspension.
Just going to say, look at the lean.
That rear is completely tucked behind the fender.
I mean, he's a wheel off. Look at that wheel.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
That's an inch off the tarmac.
You could just slide a can under there. There we go.
You risk putting your phone there?
No.
No?
No.
There you go, score drop seeing a 78.5 for Diogo Correa. I feel there's been a lot of change in the off-season, and I keep going back to it because, you know, if you don't follow these guys, you know, on their social media channels behind the scenes, you wouldn't have seen what they were doing.
Yeah.
A lot of testing, a lot of development, a lot of rework. And we're really seeing that now at round 1 here on this brand new circuit. David Spossop back once again from Poland. San Sylvia S15 2JZ 920 horsepower off the line. Spossop looking comfortable in practice. Flicks up a little dirt as he goes very wide on outside zone 1, but keeps it under control. Brings a nose in for inside zone 2, and now Spossop looks like he's got this car dialed and under control as he comes down for inner 5, and has a beautiful line for Spossop. Nice commitment on the throttle, nice and early. Flicks the car across the circuit. Spossop here, out for business, up onto the curb, fulfills all of outside zone 8. This is really nice for David Spossop as he puts the car deep into outside zone 9 and across the line. The dark horse from Poland.
Wow, that was solid. Like, super. It almost, when I first started watching it, it almost reminded me of a Korpolinski run.
Yeah.
Just the way that everything seemed
surgical.
calm. Yeah, and just dialed. He was a little wild. He went off track just a touch here or there, but like at no point did I watch that run and go, oh, he's trying to make this correction. Oh, he's trying to figure this out. Like, knew where he wanted to be, didn't panic when it didn't go completely his way. But for Spossop, this looks like a completely different driver than what we saw last year. He was really good last year, but like this, he's punching above his weight.
Yeah, it looks like he's come back with a different mindset once again. And, you know, I think there's only so many years these guys can keep coming back into Drift Masters and saying, well, I'm just here for the fun.
Right.
You know, there's going to be a level of competitiveness in these drivers that at some point comes out and goes, this is the year I win.
Yeah.
I want a podium, or I want to win the champion. I want to fight for something this year, you know. And I'm not saying that every driver in the paddock is here just to have fun. You know, every driver is the best of the best from their own country, and they all want to come here and get on the podium and win. I think some of these guys at some point take a little step back and say, let's have some fun before we go forward. 84.2 drops on the board for David Spossop. Yeah, I think this year for Spossop, he's come with a different hunger in the belly. As we move down to the start line to a man in a brand new chassis for 2026, Benediktas Čerba from Lithuania unveiled this incredible BMW G42 2JZ 900 horsepower. This is a beautiful car. And I'm telling you now, Čerba has got this car working 110% as he puts that car to the edge of the circuit for outside zone 1. Looking cool, calm and collected inside the car as Čerba, those signature blue and red headlights, comes down the hill for outside zone 4. Very nice line on the throttle, super early for Čerba. This man's such an incredible line driver. And always been the bridesmaid, never the bride here at Drift Masters. He flicks that car to angle. Wow, Čerba just about holds on to it. And everybody here took a step back from the edge of the circuit as Čerba throws a masterclass down.
That is something we only saw from the top 5 drivers. That's the only time we've seen that. And man, Čerba,
Jacob.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's so good. He looks great in practice. He spun out a couple times in practice too. maybe attempting this kind of stuff. There's a few times we'd look over, I'm like, what is he doing? He's facing the wrong way down the track. First outside zone was solid. He still's got that the front LED strip for the brake as well, so I could see him just working the left foot brake a touch. Wasn't enough to even disrupt what the car was doing, but it shows how precise he wants to be with this. Barely touches that line, but dang, look at that. Now, is he going to get docked a bit for that handbrake through that corner? Maybe. Was it worth it? To me, yeah, because it looked fantastic. That was great. That was good fun.
That was unbelievable there from Benedikt Scherber. And you know, I must say props to him and his team for building a brand new chassis and getting it to work straight out the gate, because that's no easy feat. And these guys have worked tirelessly to get that car where it needs to be. And looks absolutely stunning. The signature Benedikt Scherber livery.
Yeah, back to yellow. It was like big news when he went to blue.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
remember?
It was big news. It was on the national news channel in Lithuania.
Yeah, I can see it. Breaking report.
Scherber
goes blue.
Scherber goes blue. But he's back in yellow. 85 on the board. It's going to be the handbraking outside zone 8.
Yeah.
And
angle score is great though.
I mean, line score's good. Angle's good. As we take a peek underneath the bonnet of yet another brand new build for 2026. Not in a BMW for this season. In a Toyota GR86, it is Kevin Piscotty from Hungary, 2JZ this year. New car, new engine. What can he do here at Drift Masters in 2026? Switched up the platform. Is it more competitive for Piscotty, or will it take him a while to get into it? It looks like he's already settled in this chassis as Piscotty in this TFA Motorsport. GR86 looks absolutely incredible. The boot lid just popping open. Oh, takes it very tight to inner 5, but makes it work. As Piscotty stands on the accelerator, down the hill, flicks the car into 8, looking very comfortable. Up on the curb, keeps full throttle now as Piscotty looks for the final outside zone, fulfills it. Oh, drops out of it a little early and across the line.
Very, very interesting build out on it. I mean, it sounds great. It sounds incredible, and I'm glad he's able to adapt to this chassis. It's a big changeover, but it looks like he's handled it quite well. Once again, not entirely sure how much lap time he got on it. There wasn't a ton of info on that, but I do know that these drivers got an immense amount of practice today, more than pretty much
usual.
Any round. Yeah. A few drivers saying they had to cut their practice short because they weren't sure if they had enough tires to get through competition. That's a good spot to be in, but the run, yeah, I mean, it's very solid, very committed all the way through, and here we go through 8. So it's a little bit of a handbrake pull there, but able to make it work up onto the rumble strips there. They do allow you to slide a lot further because you're kind of hopping along them. Yeah. We might have to move our super slow-mo to that section a little bit later on.
Oh, you want to see that?
Yeah, I just want to see what the suspension does. You know, nerd out a little bit on that.
Yeah, looking very comfortable is Kevin Piscotty in this brand new build. Spent a lot of time in the UAE in the off-season driving a 2JZ Silvia. So kind of really got to grips with that, and maybe that was the decision to switch up chassis for 2026. Not finding the fortune in the BMW that he would maybe like to have got when he entered Drift Masters. But back once again and looking rock steady. And of course, these are the first qualifying runs of 2026, ladies and gentlemen. So these guys still finding their feet even after all that practice they had. All eyes on them right now in qualifying.
We're about halfway through our first set, so quarter of the way through qualifying.
You can really see there how the track goes up and down.
It's more than I thought originally. Like you can just see the elevation there. It's not that it's a banked corner per se, but it has some banking to it.
Right, so we go, 79.2 drops in for Kevin Piscotty. He'll be happy with that. Drops him into 8th position in a moment. Yeah, you can really see the wind. Look at the cameraman there, holding on, wobbling around.
Holding on for dear life.
And the flags flying in the wind. Well, Espen Road is back once again from Norway. BMW E46 with one of these facelift body kits, should we call it?
I like that. Facelift.
1050 turbo underneath the bonnet, 1,000 horsepower. Same platform, different look. Espen Road, the Norwegian youngster, fires that car into outside zone 1, having a lot of trouble with this car, and big mistake already, drops out of outside zone 1 super early. Collects 2 and 3, but maybe the simpler ones on the circuit to get, especially 4 as he fires in. You can see a lot of corrections on the steering wheel for Espen Road. He stands on the throttle, unleashing that power, flicks the car. It doesn't look like it's easy to drive, super wide on the rumble strips, but makes outside zone 8 work. Yeah, puts the car wide once again for outside zone 9 across the line, but mistakes there for Espen Road.
Yeah, strange start to that. I mean, it could it could potentially be an incomplete or a 0 on that, because there is a point where it's no longer considered a chaseable run.
No.
So to me, that might be the case. Yeah, I could argue that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, the car didn't want to initiate. He had to kind of maybe set the car back up again on the handbrake, give it a big clutch kick. It just wasn't as clean as we have come to see so far from a lot of these qualifying runs, and as we move through the championship, they will only get better.
Yeah, something weird, because it still had some side bite when it was coming through 5. Like, the car is still caught through that section, but then kind of overshot through 8. I'm trying to think of, yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird situation.
Yeah, it certainly is. So it's been road there. Mistakes creeping into his run, and a 62, yeah, it's going to hurt his score massively. He'll need to do something to improve drastically for his second qualifying run.
Still looks great, though. Man, what a shot.
Yeah, I was just taking that shot in for a moment now.
Yeah.
As I say, I missed that shot.
At the end of the day, we're still fans of the sport.
Yeah, we certainly are. Yeah, we are fans like you guys watching along at home. Big thumbs up there from Jason Benet, the man from France, from Lyon. Subaru BRZ 2JZ, 950 horsepower. Seems to be the staple, around 1,000 horsepower this season. Everyone up in their power game. Nice initiation from Benet on the throttle, nice and early. Rear wheel right to the white line as he now starts to creep down the circuit. A little wobble there for outside zone 3. Flicks that car super early. Scrubs a lot of speed as and shuts it down. Parks it on the grass.
Everybody in the whole room with an awe. He caught that initiation really well. It looked like the car was going to over-rotate on initiation, but then he was able to catch back up. Yeah,
strange. Wonder what happened there. So judges saying that was the best initiation of the day. So best initiation of the day is Jason Benet, but unfortunately problems there. He fires the car down, looks like
it just kept going and going.
He puts his hand up, I think the car cut out. So a lot of these guys will have the switch panels to their car, the cut-offs, the ignition switch, fuel pumps, all that. Where your interior light, is that what you call it in America?
Dome light, yeah.
Dome light, that's right, that's what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
In the UK or Europe, maybe interior light or dome light. Up on the roll cage in front of them, where it's very easy to access once they're strapped into the car. Jason Benet's hand went up instantly. I wonder if that car cut out and he went to reset it straight away.
Yeah, could be.
Well, it will be a 0 for Jason Benet, an incomplete. Go back on the line. Jakub Kroll from Poland, from Lodz. Off the line, 2JZ. 920 horsepower, new livery for Jakub Kroll, getting rid of that exposed carbon Kevlar for 2026. Looking good in practice. Started to mix it up a little bit and try some different things, throwing that car around, and gonna go for it again here. Throws that car very wide for outside zone 5. Does manage to pick it up, but it's not clean. That car crab walks across the circuit for outside zone 7. Flicks it very wide for 8. Stands on the accelerator as Jakub Kroll, the man, the top qualifying at the final round in Poland.
Ne viss dzīvē ir vienkārši. Tāpēc mēs rūpējamies, lai vismaz apdrošināšana tāda būtu. Svarīgais kļūst vienkārši. Ergo.
When the sun was at its highest in the sky, it was very warm, 22 degrees on circuit. It's now, 5:28 in the evening here in Italy. The sun is starting to fall down behind the back of the circuit. Yeah. Track temperatures may be falling, some of those parts of the circuit, if you look in the shade.
Yep, that's a good point.
So are we losing grip on the faster parts of the track?
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I mean, as the rubber cools down on the track, it tightens up.
Yep.
And it kind of becomes glossy, and you don't have as much adhesion with the rear tires.
Listen to us. We've done some real homework in the off-season.
Yeah.
We have done some homework.
Yeah, I've been watching Bill
Just for you guys. Well, mistakes creeping in there to Jakub Kroll's run, and not the way you would probably have expected round 1 to go, especially after topping qualifying him, in Poland at that final. Incredible.
That was such a great run.
Unbelievable. And
we just need more Polish fans here to cheer him on.
Yeah, we do.
That could be the case.
So there we go. An 84 drops in for Jakub Kroll. 84.5 puts him into 5th place at the moment. Won't be too sad about it, but would love to clean it up, that's for sure. Dwayne McKeever, the Northern Smoke Machine, sits on the line. Now, here's a Nissan 180SX. Doesn't have an RB26 in it, though. This car 2JZ, this car he'll be piloting for 2 rounds of the championship until his car is back from Mondello Park at round 3. Akiva though fires it in right to the edge of the circuit, stands on the accelerator, will be very familiar with the chassis. It'll just be the power plant he gets used to, but 1,000 horsepower will surely get him around the circuit. Akiva using that handbrake, but ABS for outside zone 4, stands on the accelerator 9. Very nice line from Akiva as he puts the car right to the edge of the circuit, flicks it up onto the curb, picked down with a handbrake, sets himself up nicely, keeps it under control, looks for the final outside zone as Akiva stands on the throttle, fulfills all of the final outside zone and across the line.
He's back, baby.
He's back.
That's what we were looking for. So he's a great example of what I was talking about earlier, where it seems to be the turbo cars throw a bunch of angle into 4, whereas or like the small displacement cars, let's say, whereas the big V8s don't do this as much. And it's just a trend that's been going back and forth. But look, it absolutely hawks it through 4, and then he's able to power through almost on a straighter line through 5 and 6 coming up. And it looks great through that. Whereas we'll get into some larger displacement vehicles. They're able to kind of power through 6 instead. But yeah, Dwayne, oh man, this is his level of driving. It's weird not hearing the limiter as much though.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
it's so. Hey, look, he's saying at round 3, Mondello Park back in Ireland in Kildare, we will see the return of the infamous RB-powered 180SX that we've come to know and love Dwayne for driving.
I think back to that one video years ago where he's on the limiter for an entire minute. You know the exact one I'm talking about.
Video. I think the whole world knows that video.
It's beautiful.
It's gone viral multiple times.
Yeah.
Picking up a wheel. A 90 dead on the board for Dwayne Akiva as he sets himself into second place. And a statement for Akiva at round 1. He's back, baby, and he's not messing around. Juha Poitalasco now back on the line. The Finnish driver, BMW E92 2JZ, 900 horsepower. And gives the thumbs up to our start line Marshall Martin, presses the button for the anti-lag as he comes off the line. Poitalaxo, a veteran in Finnish drifting. Gets that car set up nicely for the first outside zone. A little small correction, stands on the foot brake and the accelerator, gets that car round outside zone 1, now down the hill as he dabs the foot brake ever so slightly once again. Nice line through 4, but very deep on inner 5, takes the cones down. Judges won't like that. It'll be the front wheel that needs to go through that box. Marks on the circuit. Poitalaxo now back once again across the circuit, looks for that final outside zone on the foot brake, across the line. Very tidy job for Poitalaxo.
Super tidy job. He's a driver that had to kind of dial himself back, where he would overdrive the car, he would throw all this crazy angle in. This is a much more conservative Juha, and it looks really good on him. I know he wants to drive like a madman. It's in him, it's in the blood, but this is what you need to do in qualifying. Now, you can do it in the second run, get a great score on the board as we start to see the scores, jumping up even higher, and they're only going to get higher from here. But for me, for Juha Poitalaxo, this looks good. Ooh. Oh, sorry about the camera, boys. Hopefully it's in the budget. But yeah, he looks really good throughout this whole thing. That's the closest we've seen anybody on that inside. Yeah. And every other part of the run looks great. I mean, yeah, just happy to see him driving like this. He had so many amazing moments last year and so many weird crushing moments too, where just out of nowhere it felt like the driving declined, but this does not seem like the case right now.
No, certainly not. So as we see an 83.2 drop in for Juha. We'll move it along back to the line to Jakub Brzezowski, the man from Poland in the incredible Toyota GR86, E58 underneath the bonnet, 900 horsepower. And in the off-season, Jakub taken to making some viral videos, Jacob.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not done with drifting around car parks and crazy stuff like that. This man, renowned for multiple different disciplines in motorsport, that yet to find real fortune in the Drift Masters Championship as Brzezowski makes his way around the first 2 zones. Good job, a little straight, and as he comes down, waits for a long time to get on throttle, but makes it work as now Jakub Brzezowski stands on the accelerator, fires it across the circuit, looks back for outside zone 8 on the throttle. Very nice line for outside zone 8, flicks the car for the final outside zone as Brzezowski slows the car down, opens up the throttle and across the line.
Yeah, it's strange that he hasn't found. I mean, he's driven really well.
Yeah.
And the pedigree, says that he should be a top 3 driver every time, but it's just getting comfortable with it. Sometimes coming from other motorsports, there's parts of drifting that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to traditional motorsports. But for Kuba, he's doing a great job of adapting everything he's learned through multiple disciplines and putting it in here. He's very consistent. It's not often that he makes a big mistake, but now it's just that incremental climb that he's got to make to become a top 5 driver regularly. He's had moments of brilliance for sure. It's just building up that consistency for Kuba. But run looks really, really solid all the way through. Maybe, lacking a little excitement, little cherry on top.
Yeah, I find that a lot with Kuba's driving. It's so calculated, so technical, so on the line.
He is an
very
engineer,
much about the formalities.
Yeah.
And it sometimes lacks that little impact, that little flair that we come to love. A 90 dead on the board though, judges loving it. And be honest with you, Jacob, what we love and what the judges love are two completely separate
technical
things.
people. They love that type of
robots.
Yeah. I want someone to throw backies into every corner.
Well, this man might just do that. Juha Rittinen steps up to the plate from Finland. Another Toyota GR86 2JZ. 1,003 horsepower, and the
Very specific.
The 3 matters. He comes off the line. This incredible looking GR86 set to angle, set to that first outside zone. As Juha Rittinen opens up the throttle, stands on the accelerator, looking to connect the dots as he comes firing down the hill. Big decel, slows that car down nicely. Now opens up the throttle once again, very deep on in a 5, but makes it work as Juha Rittinen fires it from left to right, looks for outside zone 8, fulfills all of it. As Rittinen on an absolute ripper right now, puts it into the final outside zone, stands on the accelerator, locks up the front wheel and across the line.
Really floated that car out to 5. Like just took a nap there for a moment, got the car to come out. So I don't know how the judges are going to dock that or what their feelings are. I know they talked about really wanting to see throttle commitment all the way through the run, so I could see that being a bit of an issue, but great initiation through here. As we can see with that beautiful camera angle, not a lot of corrections in that front wheel, if any. And that sets him up for a great line through 2 and all the way through 3, and then just powers through. And then hard on the brakes. You can see the front end of the car dip out, and there's that float all the way out past 5. So Juha Rittinen, he's been around. He's done a lot of driving, and I think he's going to adapt as he goes through. But I mean, other than just what seemed like a long float on 5, no handbrake adjustment there.
No, none whatsoever.
So he can get the throttle commitment, but also you got to think about it this way. His ability to float through 8 is also why he floated through so far through 5.
Yes,
it's such a technical setup track.
It certainly is. Well, 80.2. Judges not liking it as much as me and you, Jacob. And judges saying they're not liking the last corner. Well, we're going to go down to have a chat with the wonderful Becky Evans, ladies and gentlemen. She's down there with Kuba Pszczonski. Becky.
Yes, Kuba, what incredible run for you there. 90.2 points on the board. I was going to ask you, how is the track for you? But looking at that last run, it's pretty good. It's feeling right.
Before this weekend, I were really scared about this track, but this track, in the end, driving, it looks really amazing. The flow, it's really nice, and I think it will be incredible battles. And we enjoyed the car, and everything works really good.
You're looking very comfortable. We've seen you drive this car for the last couple of seasons, but have you made any changes coming to this season here?
I think in motorsport, every time you change something, but we did good upgrade during the winter. We add some nitro, we add some better sound of the car, which comes with the more power, and I hope this will go good all the season. And I really enjoy my car this year, and this is really important.
Well, it absolutely shows. Good luck in your next run, Kuba. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Becky. Brilliant to have Becky back once again, getting all that inside information, and Kuba making some changes. As he said, most drivers are making changes all the time. We're back on the line. Jarkko Jula from Finland now steps up to the mark. This young man, this incredible Toyota Chaser, JZX 100, 2JZ 900 horsepower. Finnish driver, a wild card 2 years ago, now a full-time resident here at Drift Masters. Fires that car in, very nice line through outside zone 1. This guy, very technical driving. A lot of these Finnish drivers, all about the line, all about the style as well, as he puts that car right to the edge of the track, slows it down on throttle nice and early, drives it through outside, inside turn 5. On the throttle now, Jarkko Jula looks to set this car up perfectly. Big flare as he gets into outside zone 8. This is nice from Jarkko Jula. 1 outside zone left to go. Transitions that car, stands on the foot brake, lets it rotate and across the line.
Great run. I mean, you're allowed to make corrections. Let's just say that. You just don't want to really send those corrections out to the judges. And there's a few spots in here where you do see that, but Overall, though, I mean, it's a great run from Jarkko, and as you said, like, you have to remember, he was a wild card not that long ago.
Yeah.
He's now a pretty highly ranked driver, all things considered. He's definitely not fighting for scraps down in qualifying. he's qualifying for almost every. I think he qualified every round last year.
Yeah.
So it should just show you how steely of a competitor he is. But yeah, a couple of spots here and there where you can really see the left foot brake or the correction of angle, and as we start to move down through the ranks, you can't be doing that.
No.
But everything else in this looks really, really good. Yeah, didn't really pull the handbrake. It looked like just kind of let off throttle, let the car float around, but then in our last outside zone, I think this is where he's going to end up getting docked because he had to just crank on the left foot brake through parts of this.
Yeah, and I think that judges have come, accustomed to seeing these drivers now using that left foot brake in certain areas,
but not locking it up.
No, exactly that. And Jarkko Ula, Rookie of the Year 2025. Thanks for that information being told in my ear. And Jacob saying, I have all this information.
It's on my nose. He made it. He got it to it first. That's
right,
all.
an 83.7 for Jarkko Ula, judges. Yeah, I mean, look. There'll be improvements for these guys, and we reiterate that these guys shaking off those nerves, cobwebs, getting rid of them. Back on the line for a man, for me, that was looking very, very good in practice is this man, Mika Keskikorpi. He said, I didn't touch the car in the off-season. We built a lorry instead, so we're comfortable at the track. He said, I just want to have somewhere nice to sleep, somewhere nice to relax in between practice and qualifying. Man, has it shown, because he's been looking rock steady so far in practice today. Look at this from Mika Keskikorpi, the man from Finland, BMW F22. S58 underneath the bonnet, 1,000 horsepower as he absolutely fires it into outside zone 4, stands on the throttle nice and early. What a beautiful line from Mika Keskikorpi as he opens up the throttle down the hill now. So controlled as he puts it to outside zone 8, stands on it, comes out a little early now as Mika Keskikorpi goes for the final outside zone, doesn't lock up the foot brake, does right in the middle and across the line.
Wow. He had a ton of fun in practice. He was trying a lot of different things, and now he's starting to get it to come back together and figure out the best parts of those runs in practice. Love the amount of aggression coming out of it. I mean, that car really snappy. It catches as soon as he transitions back out. The car really, really grabs. First outside zone looking great. Second sets it up well for 2 and into 3. Would like to see a bit more angle through 3, at least for me, but I don't know, kind of makes up for it, floating through 4 and 5, back on throttle. That was, we're getting near backy territory. We're getting there. I still think someone could pull it through that section, and then as we get up to 8, I feel like something's always flapping on his car too. I remember last year, like the front end was doing it, but the side skirts now. That's a good one.
Wow.
91.7.
It is a big one, a 91.7. And this is a man that said, I don't need to change a lot on the car. The car's good. Just need to think about everything else. Where we go back on the line, Marko Zakaril from the Czech Republic sits on the line now. BMW F22 M2, but with a Volkswagen engine underneath the bonnet. The 2-litre 4-cylinder making 700 horsepower. Zakaril do, another man that hasn't changed a lot, just back in the hot seat, ready to rock and roll for 2026 as he opens up the throttle. It looks absolutely dialed on outside zone 1. This is very nice line for Marko Zakaril as he puts the car to angle for outside zone 4. Nice smooth transition, stands on the accelerator, picks up the inner zone, looks wide for the edge of the circuit. A little wobble there as he upshifts a gear, comes firing down the hill. Marko Zakaril puts the car right to the edge of the track. Zakaril is absolutely flying through the circuit here. In Italy as he puts it across the line.
He's got this set up. He's absolutely unlocked what this track needs all the way through this run. Oh man, and the engine. I love this little engine, man. A little 2-liter.
Hey, it's got 1,000 horsepower.
I know. This is what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Oh, 700 this year. They detuned.
I think they had to. He went through a few of them.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It's capable of 1,000. We know that, but only for a minute. But yeah, I really, really like the way he's driving. A lot more. Even a full release of the steering wheel through transition. Yeah. You can see him just pops his hand off of it. Very relaxed. The car does have some movement in the body as he's moving around, but it's not unpredictable. It's not like it's rolling over to one side really hard and not catching. It just seems like he spent a lot of time getting this car figured out. And it's showing. It's showing in these laps.
It certainly is showing. He looks very, very comfortable behind the wheel. Marko Zakaril doing a very good job. All the judges like it as much as me and Jacob did. And he did inside the car as he gives himself Well done, buddy. We did it.
Yeah. They did let me know they're going to continue to develop that little Volkswagen engine, and they've done a lot to it even through this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not the first time we've seen a competitive four-cylinder engine, and it goes to prove there. 90 on the board for Marco Zaccaril, drops him into 4th place.
Wow.
We're already starting to stack up scores. 6 drivers with a 90 on the board. Things are getting hot and heavy. We go back on the line to a man that was hoping that 2025 would be the year that he got a podium. Will 2026 be the year he gets a podium? Connor Falvey from Ireland in that Nissan Silvia S15 2JZ. Upgraded the engine this year, 1,050 horsepower. What could he do as he puts that car right to the edge of the circuit? New livery on the side. Representing Drift Games, Connor Falvey opens up the throttle, looks very controlled. A little wobble there coming down into 3 though. Maybe some nerves creeping in for Connor Falvey now. A lot of expectation, I think, put on himself as he'd done 1,000,000 hours on the simulator of this circuit, preparing for round 1 as he fires the car back once again. Look at this big clutch kick. As Falvey opens up the circuit, looks for the final outside zone, into it, and across the line for Connor Falvey.
There we go. It took him a minute
to
get this track handled. I'm not entirely sure why. I think the simulator can help a lot, but simulators are not perfect, and I think sometimes they give you the wrong reference points because adapt and he's overcome all of that, and the driving looks a lot better. He's now, you know, before his transition seemed to happen in weird places or wasn't putting the car in the right spot. That's not the case now. I think now it's just a matter of dialing in these last few spots, but I'm also, you know, we're talking about someone who's got high school exams coming up in a couple of weeks. Like, we need to remember that. Yeah, another good run. I'm happy to see the growth in his driving.
Yeah, I think that car gripped up as well. You see the front wheel lifting off the tarmac here at the circuit in Vallelunga. You can see it right here. Look at this as he stands on the accelerator.
There
Boom,
yeah.
wheel off. Unbelievable. Full angle as well as Connor Falvey puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. Very good job that for that young man. But what will the score be as it drops in right now? An 85.7 for Connor Falvey. We'll get him into the mix. Jumps him up into 9th place at the moment. We do have, I do believe, 32 drivers now scored. 30 drivers with a score on the board. So go back on the line. Oliver Randalou from Estonia. BMW E46 M50 Turbo, 900 horsepower. This man looking for some redemption after a pretty rough season last year. Stands on the accelerator, opens up the throttle, looking very, very good. A little wobble there into outside zone 3. Oh, big foot brake lockup. Opens up the throttle early, but drives through inside zone 5. Looking confident as Oliver Randalou as he comes firing down the hill. A strange line there outside zone 7 and out of 8 super early as the drone doesn't miss a thing. Randalou fires it into the final outside zone and across the line.
Yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird.
It looked to me like he was fighting the car a lot. It didn't look like the car was easy to drive.
No, and it's unfortunate too. But yeah, coming through, I mean, the initiation, like a ton of angle through there, it has to catch a little bit of that green through that section, that runoff area. The gator scales, I've heard them called as well. and the car just very, very quick coming through the rest of this track, and he's got to just back it in through a large portion of between 4 and 5. But yeah, look at, he's working the wheel a little more than what I would expect. A lot of handbrake pump. Yeah, see that, even that little hesitation to grab the handbrake again. That's somebody who's not quite comfortable with what's happening in the car. The best in-car runs of the highest level qualifying, there's no wasted movement. You're never grabbing something and not using it. You just know exactly what you need to do. So yeah, maybe just lacking just a touch of confidence in the car right now, or his own ability. I'm not sure. He shouldn't, like, there should be no lack of confidence for his own ability. He's an incredible driver.
Exactly that, and we've known to come and love who Oliver Randalou is. As the score drops in, it will be an 81, his first qualifying score on the board. Oliver Randalou, I think he's put a little bit of pressure on himself here, you know, on the podium at round 1 or round 2, sorry, in 2025. Kind of would have expected that again. A man that is fallen down the order is your 2025 Drift Masters champion, Laurie Heinlein, back in the Dodge V8 Pro-charged Nissan Silvia 180SX, flicks that car to angle beautifully as Heinlein opens up the throttle. That unmissable sound once again bellows around the circuit here in Vallelunga, and the sound that we've all been waiting to hear in 2026 is back on the grid as Lauri Hynänen opens the throttle, waits to flick that car across the circuit, sets it up lovely for outside zone 8, opens the throttle perfectly. Good timing from Hynänen as he puts it to the edge of the circuit for outside zone 9. It's beautiful as always from Lauri Hynänen.
Tons of angle in spots that a lot of other drivers are just not throwing that angle. Yeah, we'll take a look at it here as we get into our drone overhead view. So Lauri on initiation, really good, subtle touch of a left foot brake to really get the car to rotate around. That keeps him planted in that first outside zone. Good exit on that. This line all the way through 2 and 3 looks solid. And then just through 4, not as much angle as you see a lot of other drivers. Now he does add it a bit more at the end, but this is what I was talking about with these V8 cars. They're able to kind of push through later on than the turbo cars do. I feel like the turbo cars need to have enough time to have the turbo spool up and really put it down, whereas with the V8 grunt, you can wait a lot longer before you got to get back on throttle. But his angle he was throwing in every transition from 7 and 8, like it looks so good.
One thing I liked about Lauri Hynänen's run there was there's not a whole lot of left foot braking either. Not to the degree where it was locking a wheel. You can see there the LED strip above the Driftmaster sun strip just illuminate. That is to, you know, for our judges to see a visual indication that the guys are on the foot brake. But for me, Hynänen wasn't physically locking a wheel, showing that he's not making a correction, but forcing the car to go somewhere where it didn't want to go. Score drops in. It's a 92 from Lauri Hynänen, and Lauri Hynänen is back once again on form, looking good, and more importantly, Jacob, looking confident.
Very confident, very confident. And this is a driver that it looks absurdly confident in practice.
Well, even in his interviews, he is absurdly confident. This man has won every event in the world. He's won every championship in his own mind. It's Kevin Passer, from Estonia in his BMW G87 M50 Turbo, 1,000 horsepower, sets it up lovely for outside zone 1 as Passer, a little wobble as he collects inside zone 2 and outside zone 3, fires that car down the hill with incredible speed. Look at him on the throttle early, almost backwards into inner 5, and now absolutely smokes out the circuit as he comes down for outside zone 8, dabs the curb, and it pushes him away though early of outside zone 8. Final outside zone as he locks the foot brake across the line.
He looked to be, if not one of, but if not the fastest driver in practice.
Yeah.
He was not running a ton of wheel speed. There was a lot of grip in the car. He was able to handle it. Now it looks like he's throwing even more angle than what he had in before, and maybe just didn't quite come together perfectly for him, but his practice runs today were ones where all the spotters were talking about it. There were drivers that were sitting up in the spotters tower. I don't know if they're allowed up there, but they were there. and they were talking about it. But yeah, this car is very, very quick. I mean, it's obviously making a lot of smoke, but a car that's got a rear wheel speed that's closer to the front wheel speed won't make as much as what you think, because it's just not burning off as much rubber. So some of it's going to be making sure that you've got tire maintenance going on, and the other part's just going to be the amount of grip you can get out of the car.
Yeah, certainly so. And score drops in for Kevin Passer. I've missed these slow-mo shots so much.
I know.
I could watch these all day. An 88.7 for Kevin Passer. And yeah, I think there was a few moments there judges not liking, especially inside zone 5. It was a little wide there. Well, look, Becky's back and she's out and around, getting to work. Becky's down there in the paddock with Lauri Hynänen. Becky.
Yes, guys, it's great to see a big smile on Lauri Hynänen's face. I mean, 92 points on the board there. We were having a chat earlier talking about you'd made some suspension changes to the car, and our commentators picked up that you're using a lot less left foot brake. Is it down to those changes, or are you just feeling so comfortable in the car this year?
Yeah, of course, those changes we made the front more settled. I can be more precise, and I have the courage to throw it deeper. Like, it's a bad habit, left foot braking, so I try to get rid of it.
It's great to hear the 180SX screaming out there again. Have you made any other changes in the off-season?
No, actually, we are building a new chassis, and this is the old one, so she just had to stay on the side.
Well, guys, thank you very much, Lauri. And there you heard it here first.
Thanks, Becky. Yeah, Becky with us for the whole season, down there in the paddock, grabbing all that inside information and proving that me and Jacob know exactly what we're talking about.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Most of the time. Well, here we go, back on the line to a man that I've been eager to see in qualifying, back for a full season of Drift Masters. It is, of course, James the Machine Dean, the man that has won it all so far. What can he do in this Ford Mustang Spec 5 DM?
There he is.
1100 horsepower, reworked, re-engineered on the handbrake though through that starter scoring zone. Judges have been keeping a keen eye on that as Dean now opens up the throttle. That V8 screams as he comes down the hill. That car looking very, very balanced. A little left foot brake as he works his way through outside zone 4. But look at the line through 5 as Dean looks absolutely settled in this car. Flicks it across the circuit. Big aggression from James Dean up to the curb. Fulfills all of outside zone 8. Goes a little wide but keeps a hold of it as Dean now puts it to the edge of the circuit. A dab of the foot brake and across the line for James Dean.
I wonder if he was a victim of his own smoke, because when he came in through 8, like we couldn't see him from here. We're sitting directly staring
100
at
foot
8.
away.
Yeah, and it was tough to find that very beautiful and shiny Mustang. Right off initiation, you kind of just look at this, go, okay, James Dean's back. This is exactly the type of driving that we're used to. He's aggressive, but he's still smooth. He snaps to angle, but doesn't over-rotate. That's a fair bit of handbrake and a touch of left foot brake to get that car to rotate around. So we'll see what the judges think on that one. But this is another car that it can dig itself out of those situations. It's got a big old V8 in it. It makes lots of fun noises. But yeah, I'm wondering if that little bit of an off is just him kind of losing track for just a moment of where he was at this facility. So it's one of the hard parts is that they do have to fight back through their own smoke with how close the track loops back on itself.
Yeah, exactly that. When score drops in, it's a 93.5, and James Dean is back to party in 2026. And he said he's here to have fun, Jacob. I tell you what, the fun for James Dean will be topping qualifying as we go back on the line to a man in a car that looks the same as it did in 2025, but it's a brand new build. It is, of course, the surgeon of Korpolinski from Poland. Nissan Silvia 206 S14, 900 horsepower. What can Korpolinski do? This man on the podium a few times in 2025 would love to get himself set up lovely for a early championship fight as he works his way around the first 3 outside zones. First 2 outside zones and first inside one as he now works his way around that tight, precarious part of the circuit, doing a good job so far as Pavel Korpolinski flicks the car in to outside zone 8. Very committed as Korpolinski puts it right to the edge of the circuit, and it's a very clean line for Korpolinski as he gets into 9 and across the line.
Yeah, very clean line on it for sure. Had to work the car a fair bit. You could see it in stages where it wasn't really going where he wants it to go. He's known for setting up a car that's pretty easy to drive.
Yeah.
Because he wants it easy to drive. And it definitely baited us a little bit in the off season about how far behind the car was. Lots of posting about, hey, it's only X amount of days. I think he had more time than what he let on. But it looks very close to the last car, but we'll see. And even if you build a mirror image of the vehicle you had before, there are going to be things that are different. You know, you might forget to tighten something up or something along those lines, but to me, it didn't really feel like one of his runs. Felt like he was doing more work than what he actually was. I mean, that interior shot there looked pretty relaxed.
I was just going to say, you say that, and then we look at the onboard, and it looks like he's just driving to the shop. So Pavel Korpolinski, a man that is so clinical and so clean and surgical, as we like to say, when it comes to line driving, and he'll be in his element right now. This track demanding an absolutely impeccable lead line for tandem battles tomorrow in our top 32. Korpolinski, I must say, looks once again absolutely rock steady and ready for the fight, Jacob.
I agree, yeah. I'm at the point now where I'm ready for him to start throwing hundreds.
Oh, 100%. Well, there we go. A 90.7, drops in for Pavel Korpolinski, drops him into 4th place. And Korpolinski will be happy with that on a first run out the bag. Now, this man, well, let's have a word with Jack Shanahan before he leaves the line for his first qualifying run.
We had quite a good start to the season last year in Spain with the high-speed track there, and yeah, I'd like to try start off strong, obviously, try to get as many points on the board before the rest of the season, because being on the upper hand is obviously better, you know.
Well, looking for a good start, but it hasn't been a good start. Today, in practice, the alternator belt, the auxiliary belt on the engine failed, went into the cam belt, destroyed the cylinder head, and in 3 hours, the team changed the cylinder head, managed to get him back out for 2 runs of practice, and now Shanahan takes on qualifying as Jack Shanahan puts that car to angle, a little wobbly on outside zone 1 on the initiation, but gets it dialed now. The car looks absolutely settled, gripped up and turned up to 100 as Shanahan puts in an absolutely incredible lead line through inside zone 5, stands on the accelerator, comes down the hill, flicks the car to outside zone 8 and fulfills it completely. Shanahan keeps that rear wheel on the edge of the circuit, fires it into the final outside zone and across the line for Jack Shanahan.
Considering how little practice he got today,
wow.
He absolutely locked in. Early on in the day, he was watching a lot of other drivers, and we were there, and he's like, I think I can just absolutely huck this car into these corners and catch it. And we're starting to see that already. He was one of the first drivers to absolutely just crush outside zone 4 by throwing a ton of angle at it, and you know he's continuing on with it. Very steady all the way through. This rotation looks really controlled, still gets a lot of angle out of it. I'd say less angle than what we saw a bit earlier on in practice, but
yeah,
considering...
I think it was a little tentative there. I think he was a little reserved for Shanahan.
Listen, you want to make it in the show because
of course,
at the end of the day, as long as he can make it in the show, whatever they got to do at the cylinder head, or whatever, if they need to do more repairs, they can do it tonight, and they will. They'll be up until sunrise if they need to. So it's just a matter of like, let's get this first one on the board, let's get into the show, and then we know we've got as much time as we can handle to make sure everything's completely sorted.
Exactly that, and Jack will want to put a high enough score on the board to secure himself and, you know, say within the top 10 of qualifying to know he's safe. Which at the moment, I can say, is in the 90s already. This is absolutely phenomenal from these drivers on a brand new circuit. And there we go, an 89.5, sorry, is 10th position. So you're looking at around a 90 to be in the top 10. So I think for me, that's job done for Jack Shanahan. He can go back and reset and think about it. We go back on the line to this man. He finished second in the championship in 2025. Piotr Wojciech sits on the line from Poland. Toyota Supra A90 2JZ 1000 horsepower. This car looking absolutely incredible in practice, and Peter looking dialed as he rotates that car perfectly. Look at this from Wojciech as he puts it right to the edge of the track. The headlights shining as he goes deep on inner zone 2, and the transition to 4 is absolutely textbook. On the throttle nice and early as Wojciech now powers through inner 5, opens up the throttle, looks down the hill as he knows these 2 parts of the circuit are treacherous, but he takes no regard as he fires the car into outside zone 8. Wojciech looks for the final outside zone, dabs the foot brake, puts it across the line. Wojciech is back.
Yeah, confident. Just Piotr's so confident in this run, and every input that he goes in, there's only one spot that I could kind of see him telegraphing what was going on. Everything else seemed so good, and that spot was just before he transitioned into 4. But every other part of this run, man, it's like he knew the corner before exactly where he needed to be there. So like that transition kind of happened in 3 stages. It wasn't bad by any means. It's just it was the only spot where it felt like he had to work just a bit, and I believe that was the spot right there.
It was,
so all that was just him, you know, feeding the handbrake through that section. But every other part of this run, man, holy cow.
Yeah, unbelievable.
He just pointed and went.
I think that's the only place where the judges are going to take points away is that handbrake on 4.
Well, and it was just like a 1, 2, 3, and you could see it with the car just adding angle. It's a bit of a stutter step, but that transition into 8 is nasty.
Unbelievable. And the way they jab that handbrake is to basically make it work like ABS does in your car. That's the way they get the handbrake to work, like ABS, because if you're skidding, you're just going to slide all the way through it if it's completely locked. If you can lock and unlock the wheels, you're going to gain grip and lose grip at the same time.
And you don't flat spot the tire either, which can be a big issue. Oh,
it certainly can. There we go, scores dropping in. What's it going to be for Wojciech as he pulls back into the paddock? A 95.5, and what a way to kick off 2026 for Wojciech as he puts himself at the top of the leaderboard with a 95.5. But hold on a minute.
Here we go.
There's a man with a target on his back and he sits on the line right now. It's not all been sweet for the Shanahans, for both of them. Not only did Jack have problems, Connor broke the gearbox in the car earlier in practice. They swapped it out for a spare and he's off the line in the Toyota GT86 2JZ. Your 2025 champion leaves off for his first qualifying run of the year, and it's good so far as Shanahan puts that car right to the edge of the circuit, looks for a good transition back on the handbrake for a long time again, and now opens up the throttle for inner zone 5. Shanahan looking cool, calm and collected as he fires that car for outside zone 7 and puts it to 8. absolutely textbook from Shanahan as he stands on the accelerator. One more zone to go as Shanahan clutch kicks that GT86 across the line.
Wow, wow. The big question now is it going to be enough to beat Piotr? Is it going to be enough to take that top spot? It's going to be really, really interesting. Another driver with, I mean, as we talked about, didn't get a lot of practice. He is a driver, though, that did do some tandem. He kind of jumped into the lead and chasing roles a fair bit in practice. So he's already looking ahead to top 32. Which is a bold and confident move, and I'm absolutely here for it. That is a big handbrake pull, though. That's a lot more than I would have expected and a lot more than he did previously. So that might be the points that he could be losing in this, but the rest of it looks great. That transition, similar to Piotr's, where it's fast, it goes right to where he wants it to. He's not making any other corrections once he gets over to that angle, and the rest of the run looks solid. So it might just be that one section floating through 4 that is going to be the difference maker for this run.
Yeah, certainly so. Just taking a look back at the replay and some absolutely beautiful shots, and just, yeah, look at this. And as you say, Jacob, that is a long handbrake pull. It's before, during, and after outside zone 4. But, you know, carrying a lot of speed down that hill, there's only one way to really scrub it, and you wouldn't have done that with purely just angle, which is kind of what the judges were asking for. Score drops in. It's a 90 dead for Conor Shanahan, and that drops him into 8th place at the moment. Well, there we go. That is the first runs of qualifying done and dusted. And shortly we'll head back to the start line for our first run, or second run, sorry, and back to the start again with Riccardo Tonali. How does the leaderboard stack up right now? We've got some heavy hitters, Jacob, and they are looking good.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's been an incredible way to kick things off. Piotr taking that top spot, followed by his old teammate in James Dean, Laurie Heinen taking 3rd, and Paolo Korpelinski in 5th.
For me, Mika Keski-Korpi jumping into 4th place with a 91.7 is a statement. Harry Kerr, the man that has, you know, thrown his hat into the ring for 2026 and currently 6th in qualifying.
Yeah, this is,
there we go.
There it is. We got ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we got ahead of ourselves, so this is how it looks for you guys at home. And Marco Zaccaril, 8th place. And I'm not shocked at the scores.
No.
Me and Jacob kind of had a bit of a wager earlier, and I said, we're going to see a lot of 90s, and then we go 11 drivers with a 90 now. I'm interested to see what the cutoff is, because I predicted quite a high cutoff after the second runs of qualifying. I think we're going to round out around the 80-ish mark, and I don't think we're far away now. There's 72.2, so scores are already starting to jump up. We're going to now see the guys that have fallen out of qualifying, guys that scored zeros or who need to improve on their score. And these are the guys that are out at the moment. Karim, Hany, Dave Egan, Espen Rode, and most of our wild cards in that mix. Dave Egan, you know,
he'll get it.
It just nerves, you know, and that's all it comes down to. Yves Meyer was probably the one that I expected to do better than he did.
Yeah, new car.
But then kinda.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Well, look, Becky's down there on the ground. We're going to go and back down to Becky to speak to the man who unfortunately lost the fight at the last moment last year, but now looking like he's way back in it, Becky.
Yes, absolutely, Ian. Peter, I just turned to you there and I was like, how was that? And you said it never gets any easier. I'm shaking. Tell us about this.
Yeah, again, it's good to be back behind the steering wheel, especially in the beginning of the new season. And good to be part of this sport in general, of course. But yeah, as you mentioned, starting the first qualification run is always very nervous. I'm starting to worry about many different things. Like when I was putting 3rd gear, I was thinking, yeah, many people are probably watching, and I shouldn't be thinking about it actually. But once I initiated, it was quite okay. I was happy about my run. I could be a bit more, let's say, aggressive maybe in a hairpin, but since it's a first qualification run, I tried my best just to provide a good score, and I'm happy, yeah.
I mean, you should be happy. A 95.5, putting you in the top spot. That's good. That's good. I mean, obviously the end of last year didn't quite go the way you wanted it to go. So was it back to the drawing board for the team at the end of 2025?
Yeah, we definitely need to do quite a revise with the car, and we need to make sure that the things that failed us are now proven, and they will be solid, and we can trust them. in this season, and yeah, it looks like the car is behaving quite well. It's fingers crossed will stay like that through the competition, because it looks like we are in, so that's a good part. And yeah, now we need to focus on the second qualification round, as I always try to repeat. Yeah.
Always. And having a look at the cars, I mean, they look perfect as always, but have you made any substantial changes between 2025 to 26?
Car lost about 20 kilograms, I gain about 3, so it's somewhere, yeah.
It somehow works out, right?
Yeah. They pretty much behave like in the last season, which is good, because they were quite good last season, so we just thought that don't change something that works. And we'll see how it's gonna work out for us, because I know that many of the guys improve with their cars, and yeah, we need to have our eyes open and pay attention, because yeah, we don't want to stay behind.
Let's talk about Vallelunga, the track. I mean, to me, it looks really nice and flowing. I've driven this before, and that little switchback is lovely, but tell us from a driver's point of view, what is it like to drift this track?
Yeah, I was thinking pretty much the same before the first practice start today, and everything fell apart, to be honest. It's tricky to get into the first corner without getting too much to the inside and to not putting the wheel off. Then the hairpin, it's quite tricky to balance the braking, not to overshoot it and get into the dirt, and then not to undercut it, because then you are in the, you know where. And then the transitions, you need to get the speed to the second to the last corner, and this is tricky also, because it feels like you are going way too fast, but you need to commit, and that's the only way to actually accomplish this corner quite well. And then the last corner, which is also a balance, because if you go too fast, you're out, and if you go too slow, can you imagine you are in? And yeah, that's pretty much a small description of this track from the inside, but overall, I hope for a good tandems, I hope for a good show, but still, we need to focus on a second run.
Absolutely, Peter. I mean, I know you like your alone time now to go chill out, get yourself prepared for your second run, but congratulations. You're topping qualifying at the first run, so we'll see you on the next one. Excellent. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Becky. Yeah, well, I mean, Peter's not the only one who gained some weight in the off-season.
I was just saying,
you're looking a little. You've added some timber there, Jacob.
I was going to say, Peter looks good with 3 kilograms.
He does.
Yeah, he looks bulky.
He looks. Yeah, he's bulked up. Me and you both.
Yes, we're all bulking. That's what we're doing.
That's what
Don't ask when cutting's happening, though.
Well, there we go. Tricky, but flows. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really take that into consideration that on initiation, it kind of looks from our perspective where we're sitting, and probably you guys at home, that when they initiate, the car just wants to stay on that outside line. But I guess it's off camber, so the car automatically wants to wash onto the inside.
Right.
And now looking at it from out the window of the commentary booth here at Vallelunga, you can see it. And yeah, I mean, it does take commitment, especially outside zone 8. It's all about that commitment. Fire the car in, keep it on throttle, keep it absolutely dialed. And there we go, our crew just finishing off, resetting the circuit. So we are ready to rock and roll.
Speed. Yeah, I mean, a great entry into that. Oh, there he goes. Full commitment all the way across the line.
Yeah, and our track staff here at Drift Masters once again back and absolutely on form, absolutely on it, incredible. We're back on the line though. Riccardo Tonali from Italy, from Milan, a 63.5, find himself at the moment in 36th place. The cut-off as it sits is 72.2, so keep an eye on those scores. They will be coming up on your screen as Tonali fires in this turbo V8 180SX, puts that car into outside zone 1, fulfills it lovely, now picks up 2, looks for 3, shallows up the angle but makes it work as he comes down the hill, big speed, flicks up some dust, catches the bunch of understeer.
All the understeer.
Stands on the throttle, completely misses in a 5. Now has to try and rebuild it as he puts the wheel over. Big commitment into 8, but it doesn't pay off for Tonali. He stands on the accelerator looking for that final outside zone. Makes it happen. It's across the line for Tonali, but I'm not sure if it's going to be an improvement.
No, it's tough. Definitely tough there. Caught so much understeer through that section. The car is just not compliant. Yeah, and I'm already hearing over my headphones that that is going to be an unchaseable run.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I understand. Just you never. It's so hard because you never want to see anybody go out.
No, we don't. We certainly don't, because we love all these guys and we love chatting to them. We like looking around their cars and looking at the builds. And, you know, they bring, they're such great personalities. They bring such a good crowd of them. It will be a 0 on the second run for Tonali, unfortunately. And that will be the end of his weekend. But unfortunately, you're going up against the best of the best, so if you want to prove yourself, you have got to really throw down. A 61.5 on the board for Michele Landolfi. At the moment sits in 38th position as the anti-lag fires, and his BMW E36 2JZ 900 horsepower slams through the gears. Dabs to the handbrake for initiation. Very straight line, not what the judges are looking for, but nevertheless, it fills all of outside zone 1. Now opens up the throttle, looking for 2 and 3. Fires down the hill. It's a very shallow transition for Landolfi. Gets on the throttle for 5. Now starts to work his way, connecting the dots down the hill. It's a tricky outside zone 8 as he flicks it. Will he keep the commitment? Stands on the accelerator, and he does make it work as we get a tyre fire erupts from the back of that BMW. Still on fire now as he fulfills all and part of outside zone 9 across the line as that rear wheel fully engulfed in flames.
Yeah, here's fingers crossed. We've got somebody with a fire extinguisher waiting for him as he comes back around. It just shows the wheel speed he's got going, that's for sure. He's 88 miles an hour. I mean, the first part of this run looked really good, but I do think that the lack of angle through sections of this are really going to come back to haunt him. And this car, I mean, it's definitely a bit more of a bare bones spec. You can see it looks like he's still got a throttle or a key spot for it. So I don't know, the key wasn't in it, so maybe, hopefully it's his, he didn't just steal it. But yeah, it's just tough. What we've seen from the rest of the competitors here, you've really got to crank out this entire run and fill everything at a bare minimum just to try and make it into the show. Because now we're getting the smells of that burning tire starting to waft through the tower up here.
Yeah, I mean, as much as this track is technical and it is, you know, difficult, it doesn't look that difficult maybe for you guys at home, and especially the way we brief it when we talk about it, it is technical, it's demanding. Yeah, I think is the right word for this track. It's demanding on the driver. It's
one of the most technical tracks we've had in Drift Masters. There's a few that really come to mind, but this one is up there.
Yeah, a 67 is an improvement, but not enough to get him into the show. It'll be the end of the weekend for another one of our Italian wildcard drivers as we go back on the line to Anthony Rocci from France. BMW 36 V6 900 horsepower. Oh, and we've got our timer out, so I do wonder if Anthony was down there in the tyre warming area. He has been requested to the line. I think I can see him creeping. There we go. We can see him creeping in the background. The VQ Turbo BMW E36 is going to make itself to the line. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new with us, these drivers get 2 minutes to get back to the start line in tandem and 2 minutes to get to the line once requested from our marshals after they've completed their tyre warming. Well, Wise get slammed shut, car slams into gear. Anthony Rocci leaves the line for his second qualifying run, maybe just back there, settling the nerves, sets that car up, stands on the accelerator, lets the car float out, goes a little wide, starts to kick up the gravel, he's going to miss inside zone 2, starts to rework it now back on that qualifying line as it flies down the hill. The clutch kick opens up the throttle, it's scrappy through inside zone 5 as well. Flicks the car across, looks for outside zone 8 as Rocci stands on the accelerator, and it's scrappy as it now doesn't really connect the dots nicely. Big clutch kick halfway through outside zone 9 and across the line.
It's a really quick car. It's definitely a quick car, and yeah, I mean, Anthony, he's sitting on the bubble right now.
Zone,
yeah, so not a great spot to be in. Nobody wants to be there, that's for sure. Unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to keep him any further away from it. Currently sitting on a 72.2, and to me, there's just nothing in this run that gives me confidence it's going to be better than that.
No, and I mean, that's 2 wheels off the circuit, according to our judges when we were speaking to them earlier on, and you know, that's massive points deducted already, especially on outside zone 1.
You wonder, with that delay coming up here, what all was going on, why was that the case? There's no way it has anything to do with the VQ. Those things are indestructible. So it must have been something else.
Wow. Big VQ guy.
I've become one. I've become a believer. Become a believer. Listen, someone wants to build me a crazy LS, then maybe I'll become a believer in that too.
Hey,
but
this is not the time or place to be shouting out for free parts.
Yeah, all right. But no, just going wide through those sections. You know, and it's a beautiful shot. The gravel in the air. I mean, it's stunning. But it's just not what the judges are looking for. Wrong sport.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't rallycross, unfortunately, and we like to keep our cars on the tarmac between the white lines, and if you're dropping wheels over the edge of the circuit, you are off that qualifying line. It is a slight improvement, a 73.7. Unfortunately for Anthony Rocci there, it won't be enough. Maybe at the end of qualifying as he puts himself up the order.
Yeah, up to 29th now.
30th at the moment.
30th,
now, yeah, so once we've done Manuel Vacca, that now moves Manuel Vacca to the drop zone. This M50 Turbo or S54 Turbo BMW 36 gets himself into that first outside zone, pedaling that car though around that first outside zone, maybe loosening the car up a touch as he fires down the hill. Gets himself into 4, very wide, very, very wide. He's going to miss inside zone 5, and that's going to be huge points deducted as he couldn't get that car slowed down enough. And I do believe he may have took some grip out of this car to make it a little easier to drive. It looks tough there on outside zone 8. Final outside zone coming up for Manuel Vacca as he stands on the accelerator across the line.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough choice for a lot of drivers. Do you make an adjustment, or do you just, you're like, okay, I already know what it's going to do, maybe I can try to change the driving, or do you go, hey, let's
make it easier to drive?
Throw a couple PSI in it or something like that, stiffen up the suspension just a touch. It's tough to say. You're not going to make a massive change like gearing, but a couple of small adjustments could be the case. But yeah, it definitely seems and feels different than his first run, but maybe not different enough to really overcome it. So 72.2 right now, he's sitting on that bubble, and he went real wide there through 5.
Very wide. I mean, if it was an outside zone, he would have fulfilled it. But
well, and we talked about this, that like that hairpin could have potentially been an all outside zone. It would have been a very different layout in this track, but it's something to think about
in the future.
Maybe.
We're
coming back.
You just want to come back for pizza and pasta. Just admit it.
Dude, the aubergine that I had at lunch today is enough to come back here.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. You know what encourages Jacob Gettins to an event, and that is the food menu for lunch. 75 drops in for Manuel Vacca, drops himself into 30th and knocks down Mads Andreasen and Anthony Rocci into the drop zone.
Incremental gains is what it's all about right now.
Yeah, exactly that. We go on the line. Mads Andreasen now from Denmark gets the opportunity to try and gain some more points. The 72.5 is the car for qualifying. What can he do? BMW E92 M3 Eurofighter V8 Turbo underneath the bonnet with initiation, but he's very shallow on outside zone 1. Just then starts to creep the rear wheel higher up on 1 as he opens up the throttle dials on a little bit more angle outside zone 3. Big flick across the circuit, but huge handbrake drag. Stands on the throttle, down on the foot brake as well to make sure he collects inside zone 5. As Mads Andreasen now down the hill, flicks the car back across the track once again, fulfills all of outside zone 8. Pilots his way across, looks for the final outside zone. Andreasen on the throttle, just about tickling a wheel in the zone and across the line.
The amount of smoke that car pulls forward, it's got to be a little frustrating as a driver.
Shakes his head, he's not.
Yeah, he's not super pumped on that one. It felt all right. Like from up here, it seemed like it was okay. Initiation was maybe a bit longer than what he wanted, and then immediately on the left foot brake to hold that car back. So, yeah, interesting. Really interesting. I don't know. I would be happy with that run. I don't know why he's that frustrated.
Yeah, but I think for us looking on the outside, those small mistakes that we spot from the outside probably feel like huge mistakes in the car. You know, those small add-in angle, the foot brake, the handbrake, you know, all those corrections he's making to keep it where it needs to be. He would have known that in the car that it wasn't the cleanest run, and he would have said, I needed to improve on a 72.5, and yeah, maybe I'm going to grab a few more points, but is that going to be enough to round out qualifying as all of these guys now start to work this track out a little better every turn?
Yeah, it came out of 8 just a bit early. I mean, maybe not as deep through 9, a bit too much left foot brake, but I don't know. It felt, I don't know. I still think it's going to be better than his first run.
Well, we'll see. 73.7 is a slight improvement.
Judges look over just a little bit.
They're like a smidge.
A smidge.
We're talking a smidge.
I'm more, I don't know, giving than they are, I guess.
You certainly are. We go back on the line to Lukasz Tasiemski from Poland, an 88.5. Well, he's currently sitting in 14th place, and that seems like a good place to be. As we say, these guys are all going to start improving now as he comes off the line in this Alfa Romeo Volce V6 bi-turbo, 620 horsepower. I mean, it doesn't sound like it should do the job, but it certainly does, and it looks like it's a very nice car for line driving. As he lets it wander out for outside zone 3, down the hill, big handbrake drag, stands on it nice and early. As Lukasz Tasiemski now looks to thread the needle down this narrow part of circuit, fulfills all of outside zone 8. Looks for that final transition back for 9. Got this track absolutely dialed as a line driver. It just lacks that little bit of impact style.
Yeah, I think the angle is probably the big one for me, where like he's doing it. He's doing the thing.
Yeah.
He's getting around the track. The car is drifting. It's just, it doesn't feel like he's really letting it all hang out. That's the difference between someone who's going to be in the top 5 and someone that's going to be sitting in 14th. So it took me a second. I thought something went wrong with the car, and I realized it's just the line coming out, the flour that we put down for that, or chalk in this case. But yeah, it's another very solid, clean run all the way around. Just not having that impact, not having that style. I mean, the car is stylish itself. Yeah, I mean, it's an Alpha. It's got to be stylish. But the driving, I feel like I want to see him huck it a bit harder through transitions. I want some more angle out of it. I want to be on, I want to be standing up. I want to be super, super excited about it. That's the only part of it that isn't quite there. And other drivers have gone through this same issue. Yeah. And it's the hardest part about drifting.
I didn't realize how small that car was, but he's nearly got the whole car in the zone.
Yeah. I think it's an 8.6 underneath.
Oh, wow. Are you...
I know. I don't know if I'm blowing up his spot there.
Giving away.
But I think so.
You should have just gatekept
that information. Here we are. Can't take it back now.
But there we go. A 90.5 for Lukasz Tasiemski. The line driving, I think, is the key. And
0.5 off.
He's a very good line driver. 0.5 off. There we go. Right, Karim Hany right now sits 33rd in qualifying. This is do or die for this man. The rookie year for Karim Hany here at Drift Masters. The man from Egypt. His BMW G87 M2 2JZ. 900 horsepower being unleashed right now on circuit. Left foot brake lockup in outside zone 1, trying to keep the back end where it needs to be as he now gets himself in to outside zone 3. There's some mistakes creeping in already for Karim Hany as he dials on the angle. Big steering corrections as he comes through inside zone 5. Up a gear he goes and a big clutch kick as Karim Hany looks for outside zone 8. Gets out of it a little early though. Stands on the throttle, looks for 9. Big transition back. Oh, and he wobbles massively across the line.
Good on him for not bailing on that run. Because that did not look like a fun time out there.
Didn't look comfortable.
No, it just did not look. That looked like full panic mode. I don't know if we have in-car, but I would love to see how much work. You can see his hands moving through that part of it. It's kind of going from understeer. I mean, it's oversteering the whole time, but it's snapping back and forth, and it just doesn't have the balance to be able to get to the track. This to me looked great though. Like the way he came through 5, if you could kind of make that what you want to do, it's a really good line. It's a little bit more arcing as opposed to a lot of drivers plowing through that section and trying to get it over with. But the rest of the run, like he's on throttle, that car wants to go forward, and you can see it through here. Watch, he's on throttle. That car, I wonder if the back is soft enough that it's picking up the front end enough, and he's completely losing traction in the front. That's what it felt like there, because he got on throttle when he got into 9, and then it understeered right after that. It's tucking pretty good at the back. Hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say what the car's doing. It does look like it's turned up to 11, that's for sure. It looks like it's really gripped up, really difficult to drive in qualifying scenario.
Yeah. I bet you in battle, I mean, he'd be able to gap a lot of people. Oh, no.
66.5 judges not liking it for Karim Hany, and unfortunately, with the end of the weekend for this young man from Egypt, we will lose him as we go back on the line to Konstantyn Shchurenko. Scored a 0 on the first qualifying run. So work to be done here as he slams the visor closed, puts the car into gear, teaming up with the Shanahans this year, Trinity Racing and the Shanahans teaming up for 2026. Big stall up on initiation, but sets himself nicely for outside zone 1. Now starts to pick up the pace as he works his way down the hill in to outside zone 4. Big stall up there as he works his way around for outside zone 5, but makes it work as Shchurenko now fires into outside zone 8, stands on the accelerator, comes out of it a little early, and unfortunately now can't be coming out of these zones early, especially with the scores creeping in as they are, and the wheel tickling the line. It's scrappy again.
Yeah, scrappy again. And the next, thing that these drivers get to deal with is I'm seeing a lot more shadows on track.
Yeah.
Especially through this latter section of it. It's going to be even trickier now because as a driver, you're looking for points on the track where you need to transition, you need to aim for, and you're kind of looking past zones to find out where you need to go next. And especially after he comes to this hairpin,
look at
the
there.
light. Yeah, this is nasty. And then he's going to go through a very shaded section right after this. So even just your eyes having to adjust to all that, oh man, that's tough.
I mean, look at this. He fires here outside zone 7.
Yeah.
Boom, dark.
And then, yeah, pitch black inside. Rough go, especially for a driver that's sitting that far down in the ranks.
Yeah, tough break for Shchurenko, and we'll see. I don't know if it's enough to get him in the show, and it's a 71, and it isn't, and it puts him out of qualifying, and we lose Konstantyn Shchurenko for the first round of qualifying here at Drift Masters 2026. We go back on the line. Enver Haskasap, another driver who needs to improve drastically, at 64.7. Zanulag bangs from the 2JZ, 1,000 horsepower. Nissan Silvia S15 off the line, smoking the tyres already. A big clutch kick for Enver Haskasap. Little dab of the handbrake. Shallows up the angle, but gets himself in to outside zone 1. A dab of the foot brake as well. Very odd line. Oh. And I'm not sure if that car is going to react. And it looks like he has problems. So does it get it working? It does now. It gets it back up and going, but that car doesn't look like it wants to work. Big clutch kick again in outside zone 8. This is very scrappy from Enver Haskasap, and looks like the car fighting the driver this time around.
You good on him for getting through that whole thing, and you never know. I mean, inside you're going to know that there's obviously a big issue, but you always want to try and just get the run done, get something on the board, hopefully, but that is a pretty big straightening coming up. He's left foot brake all the way through there, and then that seems like a reinitiation to me.
Yeah. I was just going to say, that does look like a reinitiation. Yeah. We're looking over at the panel of non-fun havers, and they are saying, yes, it's a reinitiation, so it will be a 0.
Yeah, they only have fun between October and April.
They have fun. They have fun in the off-season.
Yeah.
When there's no drifting.
David Klimas is competing again.
David Klimas is good. Now, that would be something I would go to.
Put him out there. Give him a car. Let's see it.
Yeah. Judge the judge. Right, this man kind of rocked us, because in practice he was looking absolutely unbelievable. 28th at the moment. Teemu Asunmaa from Finland comes off the line. BMW M2 M50 Turbo, 880 horsepower. Big flick across the circuit. Nice line now into outside zone 1 as Asunmaa stands on the throttle. Looks to connect the dots and doing a good job so far. Not too deep though on outside zone 3, but gets himself into 4. Big moment of understeer. Does collect the car though. We cannot see him through his own tyre smoke as he fires down through 7 into 8. Stands on the accelerator. He's going to drop out early once again as Asunmaa now puts the foot flat to the floor. Looks for outside zone 9 and gets it across the line.
Another car that's wicked up, finding a lot of grip in it.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, he's getting through it. He's getting all the zones down. Definitely not an incomplete on that one, but yeah, you can really tell that car just wants to go. So the initiation looks solid though. First outside zone, second, everything looks pretty good, even through third. But right there, it gets just a bit shallow. So as soon as he gets, on 3, that car is just firing forward.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like from 3 on, there's just a whole host of mistakes. He carries a lot of speed into 4, tries to slow the car down, can't really make 5 nicely, and then he starts to panic. I think that panic sets in as soon as these drivers know they've made a mistake here at this circuit predominantly.
Oh yeah.
Panic sets in.
Yeah, and it's a long run too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we said right before broadcast, like, did anybody time this? Like, how many seconds?
How many
is this
seconds
run?
is a run? Yeah.
So when it's long like that, and we have 9 zones, you make a mistake on 1, it can follow you.
Well, it does improve, and it will be a 78.5 for Teemu Asunmaa. Will it be enough to keep him in the show, or will these scores drastically improve? A man that really rocked the boat in qualifying was this young man, Harry Kerr, 90.2 on his first qualifying run. This BMW E46/F22 hybrid comes off the line, a 2JZ, 850 horsepower, flicks that car to angle, and Harry Kerr on the throttle nice and early. Big angle for outside zone 1, absolutely ringing the rev limiter as he finds all of the zones so far. Big angle, drops a wheel into the dust. Big clutch kick as he tries to get that car back up into boost, back on the throttle, connecting the dots. This is very clean from Harry Kerr as he fulfills almost all of outside zone 8, stands on it, flicks the car across the track with aggression as he fulfills outside zone 9. Job done.
That was a fun one.
It was.
That was
fun.
just fun. He kept that thing on red line as long as he possibly could. I wasn't sure if he did hop out on those rumble strips.
Yeah.
I saw the back end bouncing. I was like, what is going on there? But Yeah, just using every inch of track possible, and some that he's not supposed to. But it's a fun run. It's exciting. It's a lot of rev limiter. He's on throttle very, very soon after 4 too. He lit that car up pretty quick, and through the rest of the zones, there is no way there's any tire left on that thing though. Up on the rumble strip, quick little handbrake pull there, getting through the rest of it. But yeah, Harry Kerr, man. He's going to be one to watch this season.
It certainly is.
Oh.
He's here to make a name for himself, and he already has that household name for many people following drifting from all over national series. And
Yeah. If you're like a deep drifting nerd, you've known. Yes. Listen, believe it or not, there are casual viewers that just tune in every once in a while. But if you're a deep drifting nerd, he's up there. He's up there with like Nick Knack, like of drivers you've heard about in other series. I mean, UK champ from 2025. Like he's got the resume. It just now he's got the chance.
Yeah.
So
he has the opportunity now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's now got the opportunity to announce himself on the European stage. Doesn't improve, stays where he is, an 80 on his second qualifying run. It's a good effort, but you know that danger element, that fun element, didn't really reward him with the judges. Now, a man that does need to improve drastically is Dave Egan. He puts 2 hands up to the camera. He says he's praying to God that he can get himself into the show. The tyres spin on the back of the Drift Games A90 Super as he comes through the gears. He flicks the car from left to right on the handbrake, sets himself up nicely for outside zone 1. This is a lot cleaner from Dave Egan. Dials on a little bit more angle to connect inside zone 2 and outside zone 3 as he fires down. Good setup. This is better from Egan as he opens up the throttle. He collects a cone though. The judges won't like how deep he was in a 5 as he flicks it to outside zone 8. Sets himself up nicely, but he drops out a little early. Egan on the throttle looks for the final outside zone on 9. Left foot brake locked up, and it's job done for Dave Egan.
Oh, is it going to be enough? That's the big question. 35th right now, 68. And we're looking at what, a 73.7.
We're currently looking at a 73.7. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of drivers left to go.
Yeah,
and those numbers could start ramping up.
We've got, quite a few that could definitely surpass him in this. It's good. It's not great.
I think the mistakes that crept in here was in a 5, outside zone 8.
Yeah, and like, it's not that bad of a mistake. He didn't center punch those cones. He definitely caught him with the front, but it's just a lot of these little things here and there. I mean, like that was a pretty good zone. Wasn't all the way through it. It's such a massive improvement over what he looked like last year. So I think that to me is a win for Dave. But ultimately, one of the big fan favorites out here. Everyone's going to want to know if he's going to make it into the show. And that's actually a little worse than I originally thought. Hopefully judges didn't see that. But hey, for Dave, they've seen it all already.
6 eyes, they're not going to miss a thing, that's for sure. We wait for the score to drop in for Dave Egan, a 68 at the moment. He needs to be around a 73. Could it be enough? He does, an 80.7, and Egan gets himself into the show at the moment. Will an 80 be enough to hold him in top 32 for tomorrow? It'll be a sigh of relief for the moment. And then nerves as he waits on to see what everyone else scores. As now on the line, George Christoforou, a 75.7, the man from Cyprus, BMW 1 Series S50 Turbo at 1100 horsepower. Pops the anti-lag, slams the car into gear and off the line for his second qualifying run here at Drift Masters 2026. Good initiation. Nice line into outside zone 1. Now starts to work the angle, and you can see him just turning the wig, turning the angle to navigate himself through inner 2 and out 3, but he's gone super wide. He is absolutely blown through outside zone 5 and now has to really start to connect the dots. This needs to be impeccable for the rest of the run, as George Christoforou does a good job on outside zone 8, the very difficult part of the circuit. Stands on the throttle, drops out of 9 a little early, and it's across the line.
It's trying to find that balance in the side bite of the car. We talk about a lot of, forward grip is something we talk about a lot, but the side bite is really what kind of came back to haunt him here throughout a lot of this run. The easiest example that we can show is going to be in outside zone 5 and going super wide. I'm not going to lie, I'm starting to really like the idea of making that into one giant outside zone, though. Between 4, move 5 all the way back. But either way, that's not what the judges want right now, and my opinion doesn't matter that much. But
wow.
I'm just saying.
It's round 1, man.
I know.
We've already given them a hard time, and it's round 1.
I've complimented David already. That's my one for the day for him. But for George, it's just the car doesn't want to comply when he wants to slow it down at angle. It does a great job when it's forward bite. It does a great job in transition. But when he's at angle, that car just wants to keep going sideways, which if you're party drifting, that's phenomenal. But here we need them to be able to move in and out of the zones, and we'll see what the judges think. And an 84 flat is going to move George up to 20th spot. So great work there. Happy to see him moving into a bit more of an advantageous position.
Yeah, well, there we go. Scores dropping in, things heating up. Simen Olsen on the line. Now this, I didn't expect this. 23rd place for Olsen at the moment at 82.5. He's going to want to climb up the order. Made a big impact with everyone here at Drift Masters at round 3 last year in Ireland. Looking good so far though on outside zone 1. Olsen would have been back, reviewed the footage, looked to clean up his line as he does a very nice job now in outside zone 4. Dials on big angle but makes it work. That was beautiful from Simen Olsen. We definitely like that as he fires down the hill, but will the judges like it as he gets himself into outside zone 8? Did he fulfill it all as he looks for the final outside zone? Good transition back as Olsen stands on the throttle across the line.
That was a nasty outside zone 5. That was so sick.
Is that the key?
That was crazy.
Did he just find the key to the safe and open it?
I mean, listen, the best drifting is when they look like they're about to do something wrong and they don't, right? And that's what it looked like. I thought he was spinning out. I thought he was spinning out on initiation. I thought he was spinning out in outside zone 5, and he pulled off both. That's a ton of angle through 1. It's way more. Now, the other zones, he's a little bit shallower, but he picks up so much speed. He's got to slow it down all the way through, and look at this. He is completely at lock, does a fantastic job through 5. That is going to be interesting. He's got to have one of the higher angle scores. Maybe, see, the hard part is like, look through here. There's almost no angle through that section, but then bam, left foot brake in that transition to get that car to snap around though.
Yeah, just about keeps the wheel in that zone as well to the end. Couldn't see it from the drone shot. We were clouded by the smoke. But nevertheless, a very good job there from Simen Olsen. I mean, golden buzzer moments for us, we loved it.
Yeah.
As a fan, as a drift fan. Technicalities are what plays into it, though, and that's what scores you points here at Drift Masters. And this shot, absolutely beautiful.
Can you imagine if they just like said, okay, you get to pick one driver that gets to move on no matter what? All right, let's see how it goes.
Wow, a 92.5 for Simen Olsen. What a way to jump up the order, and what a way to make your announcement as a full-season driver here at Drift Masters for 2026. Incredible stuff. Back on the line, Yves Meyer, a 0 in this incredible Toyota GR Yaris 2JZ, 930 horsepower. The man from Switzerland will be looking to get a score on the board as he absolutely fires off the tyres off the line, flicks that car into initiation, very shallow angle as he now starts to dial it on around outside zone 1, through inner 2, shallows up a little bit more, now flicks the car to angle. This is where we went wrong last time. Can he keep a hold of it? He certainly can as he stands on the accelerator. Yves Meyer working his way through, flicks it to outside zone 7, puts it into 8, and this looks absolutely controlled for Yves Meyer right now. Can he prove everybody wrong and bring a brand new chassis and get himself into the show straight away? Certainly looks like it.
We always say don't test it round 1, and some people don't believe us, but Yves Meyer looked a lot better on that one, obviously. I mean, it was very strange to see the first run that he had, but this one now, he's back. He's definitely putting down this run in a phenomenal way in a vehicle he does not have a ton of seat time in. Car looks great too. It's so strange to see a vehicle with such little overhang
a Yaris
move around.
It just
a Yaris
looks crazy.
It does. It looks so neat. It's like, oh, I want a nice little commuter to take me to the office. By the way, it's got 1,000 horsepower and slings around a track like this. Great combo.
Unbelievable.
It also shows how phenomenal of a driver he is, that he can jump in something like this that's so different than the Supra.
And I mean, we're not taking anything away from Yves Meyer when we say, he's struggling, and he has struggled in the past in the Supra. We're not taking it away from him as a driver. We know he's an incredible driver, but the machinery that he has chosen, past and present, haven't been the easiest chassis to
yeah, he trains with a weight vest every day. That's all he does. He's like, cool.
He's got a refrigerator in his bag full of beer.
Yeah.
And he's running around. Here we go. Score drops in. A 77.7 drops Yves Meyer into 30th position. Here's a score on the board. And I do believe that I am being told that it looks like our 32 is set. So who is in is in. Well, we will find out if that is true as we move through. We go back on the line. So Nasser Alharbali comes off the line in this Nissan 400Z V8 supercharged all the way from El Salvador, now residing in Dubai. As he opens up the throttle, Nasser Alharbali are looking good. It's the car where it needs to be for outside zone 3. Fires down the hill. Big D-cell sets the car up on the throttle. Pedals the car though, almost loses some angle. Really has to get back into it. As Nasser Alharbali now struggles to fire that car where it needed to be. Very nice line though in outside zone 8. Looks for the final outside zone. Harbali dials on the angle on the foot brake and across the line.
It's not that I like correcting you, but a small correction. Dave Egan is in. Anybody that's below him right now is still possibly getting knocked out. So there's enough drivers locked in now. But anyways, just letting you know.
Okay.
Not the full top 32 quite yet.
Right.
A driver that, I mean, doesn't have to be concerned about that because he is in this.
He is
Nasser.
in. Yep.
I'm a little concerned though with the way that car stalled up. It just didn't seem right when he came through 4 and 5. It's like, maybe not that it shut down, but just it loaded and didn't want to take off.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens here as we follow the drone and slow that drone footage down to see what he did.
So he's on throttle fairly early as soon as he comes out of 4.
I think he backs out again because I think he's going to, he thinks he's going to come up a little early.
Got it.
He does, look.
Yeah.
And then when he gets back onto it, he's like, I haven't got the momentum. I'm not flowing to outside zone 7.
Yeah, he doesn't have the wheel
6,
speed.
sorry.
So, I mean, at that point, all you can kind of do is clutch kick the car, try and get some more RPM back in it, and hopefully it breaks free.
And not break something.
Well, that's the other part too. When you've got that much load on the tire and that much grip into it, if you clutch kick, there's a good chance there's an axle that's going to be, looking for a replacement. There we go. Some slow-mo coming down that hill. That shows you the elevation a lot better.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. Yeah. We walked here yesterday and we were very surprised at how much the track changed from what we'd seen, on other videos and. Looking at track maps and stuff like that. So interesting to see. Score drops in an 86.2, a slight improvement there for Nasser Alharbali. And he jumps himself slightly up the order to 17th position. Go back on the line to Nikolass Bertans, who is one step ahead of him with an 86.5. Nikolass Bertans from Latvia in the H2K Eurofire V8, 1100 horsepower, screams off the line. This man has been upsetting Drift Masters Championships for many years now as a wildcard driver. This year said that he wanted to compete in a full championship as he fires through very wide on outside zone 3. Look at the pace as he comes down the hill, dabbing the handbrake, setting that car up. This is incredible for Bertans right now as he's looking to rock the top end of the championship as he fires through left to right into outside zone 8, fulfills the whole zone right to the edge of the circuit, back across for the final outside zone. The drone keeper can't even keep up.
Oh man, he is so fast. Eurofighters in general are just known for being absurdly aggressive cars. I checked out the engine bay today and I'm like, it looks military grade.
Yeah,
it's all the bolts, the biggest intake I've ever seen in my life. The throttle body you can put your head into. And they just want to make as much horsepower as they possibly can. And man, this car is quick. It's just so incredibly fast. It's a great job getting that car floated out through 4, back on throttle, and then I don't know if his foot left with the gas the rest of the run. He throttles through so many sections of this track. And even through 8, I don't think he lifted.
No, I don't think he. I think he made a slight adjustment to speed to make sure he wasn't going to fall off the circuit. But man, what a drive from Nikolass Bertans, a young Latvian, 21 years of age. And as I say, been rocking up as a wild card for many years at the Riga event that we all know and love so much. And this season said, no, I'm going to come back and I want to do a full year. And 88 drops in a slight improvement in score, but not in position. He stays where he is for the moment. Bertans up there as we go back to Clint Van Oort, who is currently 31st, so bordering on the drop zone. And this man would love nothing more than to climb up the order. A big change up for 2026. It's Clint Van Oort off the line all the way from the Netherlands. Big handbrake drag, sets himself up though, dials on the angle, turns up the wick as Clint Van Oort now looks for that inner zone deeper than anyone else at inner 2 and 1 on outer 3. This is looking like a very nice line for Clint Van Oort. Can he keep hold of it? He can. Almost a correction, but stands on the accelerator and makes it work as Clint Van Oort now starts to feel the confidence and the trust in the car as he opens up the throttle. Oh, drops out of outside zone 8 a little early. Looks for the final outside zone on the foot brake. Clint Van Oort, job done across the line. And I'll tell you one thing I can say, there's a man who has made some huge changes in the off-season and looks so much better in qualifying.
Yeah, 100%. As we talked about, qualifying has always been his demon that he's had to battle. When we get into head-to-head, he is a maniac, and he just, I mean, very rarely is there anything left of the car by the time we're done, but for some reason, just gets in his head.
Yes, nemesis has always been his qualifying.
Yeah.
It's so sad to see because, again, another driver that we know is more than capable of being on this grid and deserves a position on this grid. But unfortunately, just the last few years had this mental block when they pull to the line for qualifying that they can't shake, Jacob. And I think that's been something that Clint has worked on in the off-season, and now he's shaken that monster off of his back.
I hope so.
He's in the fight.
I hope so. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to make it into top 32. He's in 31st right now, 77.2. There is a couple of drivers still sitting on zeros that are coming up. It is possible.
Wow.
There it is.
What an improvement. An 82.5 for Clint Van Oort. Jumps himself up. And I tell you what a way to kick off a new season for Clint Van Oort than getting himself into the top 32 for tomorrow. Diogo Correa, 78.5. He now moves down to 30th position and flirting with the drop zone as a young Portuguese driver in this BMW 3 Series with a Mercedes engine. Comes off the line, 900 horsepower. Rips through the gears as Diogo Correa has all of Portugal supporting him. Puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. Correa looking steady. Very good line driver is Diogo Correa. Just lacking some of that impact sometimes, but definitely got the impact here if he opens up the throttle early, and he does. Diogo Correa, absolutely beautiful from inner 5 as he now wanders across the circuit to 7, flicks that car back. It looks absolutely dull, but another driver falling out of outside zone 8 a little early. Correa into 9, stands on the accelerator and the foot brake and brings it home.
Man, he's going for it now. He's taking some more risks, and he's trying to push that much harder in every single part of this track. So right off the initiation, things look really good. All the drivers kind of have this locked down. It kind of becomes a battle of who wants to throw the most angle through outside zone 1. But 1, 2, and 3, I really feel like we've got things more or less dialed. But the way he's able to get through 4, he sets the angle really early, and this arc into 5 is just beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is. It's a really beautiful line. Not as much angle as we saw out of Simen Olsen, maybe not as much speed as we saw out of Bertans, but it's a very almost elegant arc going around. You know what I mean? It's like he's skating.
It looks like it works.
Yes.
It doesn't look awkward. It looks like it works.
And it doesn't seem like he's slowing down too much. At no point do you seem he's accelerating too much, and it shows in the points.
There we go. Diogo Correa, an 84.7. Jumps himself up the order. And good job there from the young Portuguese driver as we go back on the line to David Spossop, who we mentioned earlier, Jacob, looked like this was comfortable to drive. It looked fluid. What did he do right now? He's currently sitting 21st in our top 32, so looks like he's safe at the moment, but we'd love nothing more than to jump up the order as the Polish driver puts that car to the edge of the circuit. 2JZ powered Nissan Silvia S15, works his way around inside zone 2 and out of 3. Down the hill, can he now get on the throttle nice and early? I think these guys have got it worked out, Jacob. This now becoming rinse and repeat for a lot of these guys as Spossop really starts to apply the pressure, fires the car in to outside zone 8, left foot brake locked, but he puts the car where it needs to be. Final outside zone coming from David Spossop as he puts the car right to the edge of the circuit and across the line. It's incredible.
Yeah, the game is just being leveled with every single run as the driver's feeling more and more comfortable, and maybe even seeing what the other competitors are doing and learning from it. You got to remember, these drivers, they study all the runs. They will go and watch everybody, and they'll spend the entire practice that they're not driving watching everybody else. Spossop looks so good. Another driver that makes this section of the track much better. Yeah, like he's on throttle.
Yeah, early.
In a spot where we're kind of become accustomed and a little bit jaded to just handbrakes of dragging all the way through. And he does do that at a section, but he does an incredible job of getting around and staying on throttle. Like, man, Spossop, I got a feeling he's going to be moving up the order here.
Yeah, I feel it too, Jacob, and the score drops in, and he will. It's a 90.7 for David Spossop, and looking very good, this young man. Been really turning the wick up year on year here with Drift Masters. We go back on the line to Benedictus Cherba and this incredible BMW G42 2JZ 900 horsepower. Mr. Cool, calm and collected as always. The visor closed, no looking at the camera. spins the wheels and off the line goes Benediktus Čurba. There's a 90 on the first qualifying run. What can he do? An 85, sorry, on the first qualifying run. What can he do right now as he works his way around? Dab of the foot brake, puts that car across the circuit. Oh, drops a wheel onto the grass, but makes it work somehow. As Čurba now fires down, that's a big mistake for Čurba coming in to inner 5. Once again, drops a wheel over the edge of the circuit. I think this was a do-or-die run for Čurba. He's out of outside zone 9 across the line. Scrappy, fell apart towards the end. It was a bit of a mess there for Benediktus Čurba.
Yeah, Čurba, I mean, he's got a great run all the way through this. The left foot brake on initiation is something we're starting to see a little bit more often now, too. Drivers wanting to get that rotated around and using that pivot point to do so. And a great line through the rest of it as well. I mean, Čurba, yeah, sitting on a 90 from the previous one.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. My handwriting's terrible, too. He's I don't know if this is going to be enough to beat that, because that first run was incredible.
There was too many mistakes creeping in. He completely missed all of outside zone 9, and for me, this was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
This is off-roll. You know, he's trying to come in backwards, trying to replicate what we see on the last 2 runs, then cuts across the circuit. He's almost triangulating the track at that point, and that's not what the judges were looking for. And just clips.
But he's trying something else.
Yeah, he's just trying something new.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're almost making that hairpin, that inner 5 from 4, 5, and 6. You're making a triangle, and that's not what we're looking for.
Right. As opposed to more of a teardrop.
Perfect arc or a teardrop. Yeah.
But now we'll see as the sun now very quickly setting here.
Yeah.
At this beautiful facility.
Also a 0.
Oh, interesting.
So judges saying that on the hairpin.
Unchaseable run. Wow.
Yeah, unchaseable. Not able to follow going into the hairpin, and this is the problem. We go back down the order to 29th position to this man, Kevin Pascotti at 79.2 on his first qualifying run. As he comes off the line, brand new build, a 2JZ Toyota GR86 for 2026. As he gets himself set up lovely for this first outside zone, stands on the accelerator, puts the car to the edge of the circuit as Kevin Pascotti fires through, big handbrake drag to outside zone 4, but makes it work through 5. Gets on the throttle very late though, as Pascotti now threads the needle, looks for outside zone 8, puts it right to the edge of the circuit, uses the curb, but it doesn't help him out at the end of the run, fires it into the final outside zone, and it looks like he's just about got a wheel in that final zone.
He had a weird hesitation there on initiation where it looked like he kind of missed the timing of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Goes through, and then right there.
Yeah.
See,
that's
car,
the handbrake. Yeah.
Yeah, the car should be swinging back over, and it doesn't. So he's got to grab the handbrake at the last second. And the rest of the run, he's able to collect kind of his feelings and get back into the battle quite well. But that is a big handbrake pull without a lot of angle to add to it. We would have liked to have seen him kind of swing it over a bit wider. And then as he starts to flow through this section of the track, when he gets to 8, you can kind of tell. Gets up on the curb, back on throttle, and it kind of just pushes him back out. So, yeah, he almost had to ride that curbing a little bit longer than what he did on that run. And now you can really start to see how that light and the sun coming down is going to affect these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, it's now starting to really become visible as they come to outside zone 8 of where the sun, the track there is completely covered in shade, and there's patches as well inside zone 2 where the sun is not present anymore, and and you think that, well, that's not a problem, these guys know what they're doing, but as they're coming through, looking for zones, looking for that line, looking for points and the references on the circuit to time transitions, the sun's beaming through the windscreen and then it goes, it's dark and light, it can really mess with a driver as they're trying to navigate around a brand new track that they're still really unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I mean, as much as they've had a lot of practice, you know, it's not like it's a Mondello where they've had an immense amount of practice, especially for some of these drivers.
Exactly that, no improvement for Kevin Pascotti, a 75.5 on the second qualifying run. So he'll stay where he is in 29th position. As we go back on the line to a man that's outside of our top 32, Espen Road, a 62. Currently sits in 40th place. He would love to get himself in the show for tomorrow, the young Norwegian. BMW E46 with a facelift body kit, 1,000 horsepower. Looks like a nicer initiation this time for Espen Road. Puts the car right to the edge of the track. This is a lot cleaner for Espen Road. Looks like he's going to play it safe here. Nothing too drastic going on. Just trying to get a good score on the board for Espen Road as he gets the job done through 4 and 5. It's actually a really, really nice line for Espen Road as he keeps that car between the white lines. Very technical for Espen Road at the moment. Big dab at the handbrake. It feels all of outside zone 8 though, as he now navigates his way round to the final outside zone. It's fulfilled and across the line for Espen Road.
He'll be a lot happier with that.
Wow, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, a lot happier with that run. Sitting on the 62 from previous, I mean, there was a lot to improve, and he did so. Yeah, he just was able to make it all come together. I would love to know what happened on that first one, but you could tell even from the run up, the launch off the line was aggressive. Got that car, right out into the first outside zone. The transitions are good. It's just a very, very clean road, or a clean run from Espen Road. Young Norwegian showing back up again.
Yeah, very good for Espen Road, actually.
Yeah.
And for someone that, the first qualifying run of 62, we're not sure if there's a problem with that car or if something is untoward, and to come out and lay down a really technical run like that, really clean, it's a nice line to follow. That's what we're ultimately looking for. We're looking for the best lead line.
Yeah, that's what we're going at here. And we learned that obviously with the unchaseable run before that.
Yeah.
You've got to set up something that the judges are looking for, and it's got to be something that allows for a phenomenal chase run, which means good angle, you're getting into all the zones, and yeah, he's got to be above a 75 to be able to make it in, and Manuel Vacca is the one sitting on the threshold.
Oh, yeah, exactly that. We have 2 drivers so far. Who will we? And it is an improvement. It's an 84.2, which puts Espen Road in the show for tomorrow. Unfortunately, we lose the Italian Manuel Vacca out of his home race. Jason Benet, the man who sits on a 0. 41st position, looks pumped now. This young man last year was absolutely phenomenal. We loved his driving style and what he brought to the championship, but now needs to make it all happen as he flicks in the Subaru BRZ 2JZ right to the edge of the circuit, stands on the throttle, dials it in, turns up the angle a little bit more as he fires through the circuit. Big handbrake drag into outside zone 4. Can he get on throttle nice and early? He can. A big clutch kick as Jason Benet now looks to transition that car from 7 to 8, dials it in, all of outside zone 8 fulfilled. And this is a lot nicer from Jason Benet, the man we've all come to know and love. Final outside zone fulfilled for Benet.
Well, he's on the board, that's for sure. He got that run down. This is a much better representative example of what we saw last year, what we saw in practice, and what we would expect out of the young Frenchman. This is a good run. A little more left foot brake than I would like to see through it, but now that shade, that darkness is creeping in all the way across the track. The shadows are getting long, and it's becoming a different surface again, but maybe one that's just a little bit more friendly for Jason Benet.
Yeah, look, some of these drivers might have wanted a little bit of a cooler circuit to put their qualifying run down on. Others would have liked it, really hot and sticky. But Jason Benet doing a very good job there as we see the replay. We're making his way into that final outside zone, dialed inside the car. Look at that, sets the car to angle, absolutely full tilt.
I was like when they wear white gloves because I can see where the hand
movement.
Yeah. I recommend drivers don't wear white gloves because the judges can see that hand movement too, but I like it. Yeah, look at him locked in. Can we zoom in any further, please?
Straight into his eye.
Yeah.
Real eye shot.
See the reflection.
Well, Jason Benet could take Yves Meyer out of the show right now. Yves Meyer on that drop zone of top 32. Jason Benet will need a score more than a 77.7. And judges deliberating this one, I do believe. No, score drops in, an 89.5 for Jason Benet, drops him into 16th place. And that knocks out Yves Meyer off the big show tomorrow here at round 1, Drift Masters 2026. Well, so that is it. Our top 32 is set. Only now can positions be changed as Jakob Kroll, who is in 22nd position, would love to move himself up the order. A brand new livery on the same old car, but Jakob Kroll, that impeccable lead line as he locks the foot brake through outside zone 1. Now starts to look a little bit more cool, calm and collected as he fires down to outside zone 4. On the throttle nice and early from Jakob Kroll, and once again another driver that's got that inner zone 5 absolutely worked out as Jakob Kroll flicks it to outside zone 8. It's incredible. Can he fulfill it? He can. He just about tickles the white line as he gets across the circuit to the final outside zone. Jakob Kroll fulfills it, and it's job done for the Polishman.
I think that outside zone 5 is going to become crucial in tandem tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because drivers that really check up there might invite a bit of an accident, and if they're decelling too much and the chase driver hits them, they could be at fault for that. So drivers that are having a great time getting out to that spot on the track, they're at a massive advantage in the lead as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, Jakob Kroll, he's back on form here. It's maybe not quite the one we saw in Poland.
No.
But the momentum from that last round is definitely fueling him here as now we sit in Italy.
Yeah, it certainly is giving him, a little bit of fuel. Maybe, again, it's been a long off-season, and I think a lot of these guys who didn't spend the off-season in the garage, building the car, working on the car, some light maintenance, they didn't get the seat time maybe, and it's shaking off those cobwebs, getting that rust out. 88, dead on the board for Jakob Kroll, gets himself into 19th position. And as we say, our top 32 is locked in right now. We are just doing position changes. A man that would like to go a little higher up.
I would think so.
Wayne McKeever, the Northern Smoke Machine, a 90 on his first qualifying run, but now sits in 13th. He would love to climb up the order and challenge the top sitters as he fires through the gears. Wayne McKeever straight onto that perfect outside line. Look at the angle dialed on as McKeever absolutely flies through outside zone 1 in a 2 and out of 3 as he puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. On the throttle nice and early, drives the car through 5. McKeever's on an absolute flyer right now as he puts the car to the edge of the circuit, and he'll left foot brake. I haven't seen one there yet as McKeever fulfills all of outside zone 8, stands on the accelerator, looks for the final outside zone. McKeever wants it more than anyone.
Oh, there's that top qualifying. That was an incredibly intense run.
I think.
Oh, here we go.
That if the line through 4 is better than anyone else's, that could be way up there. But let's look at the replay.
Yeah, I mean, style and angle, it's got to be up there. This is the type of driving that we expect out of the Northern Smoke Machine. He goes big at every single turn, and I think he produced more smoke than any other car on track. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's a great line. He's barely even on the track. He's that deep in the zone. It's just a long handbrake pull. But the judges are also more or less forgiving it because it's still a decel zone. Let's see here where he is. Yeah, man, he pumps that thing.
Oh,
he just, man, he's so good.
And
he's
the
good.
downshift, the little dabs of the handbrake, gets to 6, bams it up a gear. What a drive from McKeever. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and he's done better adapting now to sequential as well. I believe, I can't remember what round it was, but I remember he didn't quite get the sequential in gear last year, and it ended up breaking some stuff. And he's got it locked in now, though. He's learned.
He certainly has, yeah. And a man accustomed to driving with that G-force transmission, that H pattern, 4-speed transmission. Now really getting the grips with this 2JZ powered 180SX. It looks so good. McKeever on an absolute flyer. It's a 95.5, and McKeever steals the top spot from Wiańczek at the moment with a 90 on his first run.
I mean, wow. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Oh, and we have drama on the start line. And look at this. Boytelasco with oil pump failure.
Oh, wow.
We are hearing after the burnout box. And we can see down there our start line Marshall Martin taking a look at the car. And I'm not sure whether that's a dry sump system on the car. Boytelasco, visibly aggressive.
I'm just looking through car stats to figure it out. I remember they said they had an alternator issue in practice. I'm wondering if it was actually a belt issue. Oh, man. The hand on the head, though, that's never a good sign.
No, and we can see there's some back and forth there between Juha and our start line Marshall Martin and our technical team down there. You can see we're going to get that car dragged out of the way.
Oh,
and not sure what was going on. At the moment, an 83.2 can't be knocked out.
Yeah, he's still in the show.
Would have loved the opportunity to move himself higher up the order. 26th place at the moment is where he will reside. We go back on the line, though, to Kuba Pszczonski. Yeah, so we jump ahead to Kuba Pszczonski, who's drove past Wojtalasso and looking ready to rock and roll. 10th place for Pszczonski, 90.2 on the board. Feeling good, says he loves the track. He loves everything. He's always happy, this man. There's always a smile on his face. But Riccardo, right where it needs to be now. Will Pszczonski climb himself higher up the order? This is very nice on outside zone 1. In a 2 and out of 3. Pszczonski there just dabbing the foot brake, comes down the hill for 4. Can he light it off nice and early? Can. This is incredible. This is another guy who's going to be challenging for the top as Pszczonski puts it deep onto 6 and 7, flicks it across the track. Wide on outside zone 8 as Pszczonski looks for that final zone. Deep into it goes Pszczonski. The Polishman is absolutely flying.
The best part about 2-run qualifying is that if you're locked in the show and you know it, you just go wild. You go ham on that second run. And that's what it looked like Kuba did as he plugs his radio back in.
Unplugged it.
He might have
didn't
unplugged
want to
it
listen to the spotter.
100%.
He got in the burnout box.
They're probably like, hey, you're already in the show. Maybe you could just.
He's like,
you
leave me alone.
Exactly. No, he's not like that at all.
No, he's not.
Such a nice man. But Kuba.
He'll be apologizing now for not plugging it in.
100%. He'll be like, I'm sorry if I missed your call.
Sorry.
I will get back to you immediately.
Forward me the email.
Oh man, no, this is it's another fun run from Kuba. He's so technical. I'm glad that we're starting to see a little bit more personality in his driving. He throws some more angle. You know, he looks like he's enjoying himself a bit more. Tough to tell through the visor, but I think there's a smile back there somewhere.
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah.
There will be a smile back there for Kuba Pszczonski. As we say, a 90.2 on that first qualifying run, so definitely in the show. Will he be challenging the top 10 a little bit more, though, with their second qualifying run? It looked very good to me. Who am I? I'm just a mere drift fan like you guys at home watching along. I just get to do it right here in the presence of the best in the business. It's a 95 for Jakub Pszczonski, and he pushes himself up into 3rd place at the moment. What a statement from the Polishman here at round 1.
And the judges are they're getting a little more friendly with these scores. And it well-deserved, though, like 100%. It's not like they're just handing them out. These are all being earned.
They certainly are. Well, we go back on the line to Finnish royalty at this point. It's Juha Rittinen in the Toyota GR86 2JZ, 1,003 horsepower. As Rittinen comes off the line, 30th place. He definitely wants to move himself up the order. He won't want to be battling the top 3, that's for sure, as he now sets himself a goal to climb into the 90s. But what can Rittinen do? We've seen this man do incredible stuff before. And look at the angle he dials on the throttle nice and early. Rittinen gets it as well. Rittenen's absolutely tuned into what this track needs to fulfill a perfect lead line as Rittinen gets into outside zone 8. This is textbook Juha Rittinen right now as the Finishman fires it in to the final outside zone. Rittinen, job done and across the line.
It's, man, these qualifying scores are just going to keep going up. It's just going to keep getting crazier and crazier. And yeah, Juha Rittinen, he's back, baby. He's definitely here. Oh, man, I always enjoy watching his car in motion because it's so flat.
Yeah, it's dialed.
It's so dialed. Every single run, you'll see some cars that bounce around or dive or move a lot. He's always got it in such a great balanced state where it shuffles a little bit here and there, but realistically, that suspension is just so well tuned all the way through. And he runs his car, I mean, it's kind of body low, but it's still very low to the ground.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like the body low.
Yeah. You like it? You don't mind that?
It's a very good look, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, as much as a slam drift car looks sick, it's just not practical, especially at this level. Everybody wants, like, oh, give me the big, big slim chrome boy wheels. All
Chromey
that.
boys.
Yeah, nah. I like seeing a car that looks completely flat through a transition.
Yeah. And this car does. It looks so planted, so dialed, absolutely. It looks like it goes exactly where Juha wants it to go.
Yeah.
The score drops in. It's going to be a 92.2 for Juha Rittinen. Another man has climbed himself up the order inside the top 10, and the scores keep climbing here at round 1. These guys are not messing around. Jarkko Juhla down in 26th at the moment with an 83.7. So Jarkko Juhla from Finland. Toyota Chaser JZX 100, 2JZ 900 horsepower comes off the line, flicks that car where it needs to be. Big car to be firing around as well. As Jarkko Juhla fulfills all of that first outside zone, deep on inside zone 2 as well. as he puts that car down. Wild flicks up some dust, carrying a lot of speed. Will he miss in a 5? And he does, carrying a hell of a lot of speed as he comes down to outside zone 4. Now starts to pick himself back up again. He's outrun the drone. This is unbelievable from Jarkko Juhla as he looks for the final outside zone, fulfills it, and across the line.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that was crazy. Everything looked good until 5. And just unfortunately just went out really, really wide through that section. And just not, I mean, I don't think that's going to better his 83.7, all things considered. It's just way out there. But another driver just going for something a little bit different. We see a lot more left foot brake in it. We see, you know, yeah, I think he's just having fun out there. You're locked in. He's in a good spot. I mean, 26 is not amazing, but he's in the show.
I think he's watched back at what everyone else is doing at 4 to 5.
Yeah.
And he was like, I wonder if I can replicate that by carrying a little bit more speed. Unfortunately, just too much speed, floated completely through outside zone 4. And then by the time he realised, he was like, there's no way I'm making in a 5 at this point. I just need to finish the run.
We did get a little bit of news while this run was going on. You might have noticed Itesera did not appear for his first run, and it sounds like he is not going to appear for his second.
No, unfortunately, Itesera missing both his qualifying runs. Mechanical problems in the paddock, unfortunately, so he won't be out. They lose him from qualifying today. An 82.2. Jarkko Juhla, no improvement, stays where he is. So we move it along to this man, Mika Keski-Korpi. Well, he had 4th place in qualifying for quite a while after that good first qualifying run of a 91.7. Has now been pushed down the order slightly to 8. We'll see how he does in his second run. The young man from Finland, S58, 1,007 horsepower. BMW F22 fires it in, big flick from left to right. I like the weight transfer there as he now dials himself in very deep on in a 2, and he starts to really turn up the heat as he fires that car to outside zone 4. A little dab of the foot brake. Look how early he is on throttle for 5. This is absolutely beautiful. This is again Mika Keski-Korpi back in Drift Masters, looking comfortable, looking confident, and this is phenomenal from the young Finnish driver. A man that we all said one day would be a name that we don't forget as he drags it across the line.
I'm not forgetting it, that's for sure.
He is getting better and better in this car.
Every year, and he's rebuilding cars every year as well, just making those improvements. And I like that he gets the weight transfer done early. I think it's risky because the chances of you getting out of sorts are pretty high, but the upside is you know what the car feels like. Because you got to remember, it's probably been an hour since his last qualifying run. And you do, you're going to lose a little bit, but going, okay, this is what the car is going to do. I know how it feels. I know where it's going to break free. Man, another driver with a ton of angle. Not as much as Olsen through there, but similar. Very similar. Man, very
the line's beautiful.
I know. Oh, it's like his hair. Beautiful and flowing.
He loves his hair.
He does love his hair.
Loves his hair.
It's shorter than it should be. He needs to grow it back out. But yeah, great run all the way through. Car looks great. Seems sorted. A little bit of movement in the suspension, but that's what it's there for. It's going to move. If it's not moving, then you don't have suspension.
I'm going to say it now. Wow, there we go. Score drops in. A 94.5 puts Keski-Korpi back into 4th place. He said, I had it, I want it, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to say it now. Mika Keski-Korpi is going to be a bit of a force to be reckoned with in 2026.
I agree.
And so is this man, Marko Zakaril, the young man from the Czech Republic. BMW F22 M2 Volkswagen 2-litre turbocharged engine underneath the bonnet. 700 horsepower for 2026. Detuned slightly for a bit of reliability as he gets the weight transfer done. A dab of the handbrake now. Fulfills outside zone 1 but drops wide, and a mistake creeps into Marko Zakaril's second qualifying run. Looks like he was going for the big style, the flare run. And Zakaril kicks the clutch outside zone 6, a very shallow on 7 once again. And the run now a little scrappy, but I think even Zakaril knows that this one won't be an improvement. He gets it across the line.
Yeah, that's just not it for him.
Yeah, he was just gonna go for the do or die run.
Yeah,
he went old school.
Yeah, I definitely went old school drifting on that one. But there was a lot of work going on in that car. He was fighting a lot. He was in there like a boxer the entire time. I know, it's sick. It looks cool. I don't, the windows are all intact here, so that's good. But I don't envy any of the dedicated media people that were in that area. It's cool though. Oh, just gets onto it.
Very wide at that point.
Why not, right? Same thing.
Hey,
2 runs, you're in the show.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's sitting with a 90. He's 13th, believe it or not, with a 90.
Yeah.
Right, which is wild. And why not go for it? Why not try and contend for the top end?
Yeah.
You know, of qualifying. Why do a reserved run when you know you're already in the show?
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and that's exactly what I would want to be doing as well. It's just go for it, have a good time, throw the car out there, and see what you can make of it.
Exactly that. So we wait for the second score to drop in, and yeah, of course, a 73.5 for Marco Zaccaril's second qualifying run keeps him where he is at the moment in 13th position, and the top 15 are rounded out with 90s at the moment. We go back on the line to Connor Falvey, an 85.7. Nissan Silvia S15 Team Drift Games on the door. 2JZ, 1,050 horsepower as he builds the boost off the line. Connor Falvey, a man that I said had put a lot of pressure on his own shoulders for 2026.
Oh!
And again,
what just happened?
I think Connor Falvey for 2026 has put the pressure on his own shoulders.
Yeah, he is
the machinery is there. You know, I know this car went and had a lot of work done with James Dean's team, with the Dean M Sport guys. And I think Connor Falvey this year will be his own enemy.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, and he's kind of at that age now as well where the luster of being the young kid, you know, that's not there anymore. He's an adult. He is now an adult. He's been in this competition for a few more years, and maybe that's part of it as well, is like now he can really feel all of it. But that was really strange.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't keep drifting, to me, says there's something that happened. But I don't know. That just looked like he just wanted to hug.
I mean, I could be completely wrong. And the track conditions could be so drastically different from his first qualifying run that it threw him.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know though.
I just have this feeling. I just have this feeling that Connor Falvey has maybe just he's got the Clint Van Oort effect.
Oh,
that's what we could call it.
Don't you put that on him?
Well, Oliver Randalou right now, 29th position, 81 on the board. The drone's going to chase him down, and what can he do? Yeah, a young man from Estonia fires the car in. Look at that, right to the edge of the circuit. Oh, shallows up the angle, but then gets back into it. As Oliver Randalou absolutely fires through. This is so fast from Randalou. Stands on the throttle, picks up inner 5. This is beautiful from the young Estonian driver as he puts foot to floor, looks for 7, flicks it back once again. As Oliver Randalou out of outside zone 8 a little early, but he'll try and resurrect some points from outside zone 9 as he puts it deep into the zone and across the line.
That's a heater run. That's a heater run. Man, that was fast. But that was closer to what we saw him do in practice.
Yeah.
So maybe that first run was his phone in, and now he's back to absolutely shred this. He gets it way wide out there. That's going to be really interesting when someone's got to chase that as well. It's all completely legal. He can use up that lane. That's totally fine. But that car is gripped up, but he's still hucking a ton of angle in a lot of spots. Look at this. Out left foot. We're seeing a lot more left foot brake on transition. Have you noticed that? It's like, maybe it was happening last year as well, but I feel like we've seen it significantly more than previously. But it looks good. It's a great way to get the car to fling it out without having, like, in a short period of time, right? If you want to snap to angle really quick, handbrake pull wasn't that long. Maybe could have been deeper for a touch longer. I'm just grasping at straws here.
Wow.
91.
A 91. 10 points gain for Oliver Randalou. And again, looking good, looking rock steady. Go back on the line to a man that is looking very, very good. Laurie Heinen, a 92 on the board. Gives the thumbs up, shakes his head, says I'm ready to go, slaps the car into gear. Laurie Heinen, Finland, 180SX Dodge NASCAR V8, 945 horsepower. What has he got? Puts the car to the edge of the circuit. Heinen dialed in, look at that, absolutely locked on angle. As Laurie Heinen fires it to outside zone 3, a little wobble, flicks that car, big angle down the hill. He's carrying a load of speed. Can he pull it off? How did he carry that? How did he do it? As Heinen fires it across the circuit once again. Heinen into outside zone 8 with a big clutch kick. Looks for the final outside zone. Laurie Heinen, the champion. Can he redeem himself in 26?
This reminds me of 24. Like, this level of driving reminds me of Larry.
But no regard.
Yes, it seemed like in 25, he tried to dial it back a little bit and keep everything
He
running.
felt the target.
Right. But in 24, he drove, it was scary. Every run you're like, he's gonna bin this car. We're gonna have to pull it out of the parking lot later. And this feels like Larry of 24 again. It's big, it's fast, he's trying stuff. It feels like he's gonna crash at any moment, but that's also the pinnacle of drifting. That's exactly why we all love this sport. Man, what a shot. Oh, that is stunning. And the drone right behind him, just trying to keep up. He nailed the angle all the way around it. He got on throttle super early. He had a bit of a handbrake pull through there, but you kind of have to. Oh, that's a background for your phone right there, ladies and gentlemen. What a weapon. Like, did he clutch kick in a straight line?
Oh, look at that. I didn't even see that.
You know what? I don't know if it takes first place, but that might have just won my event.
I think that's on the highlight reel for tonight, that's for sure, as we see the score drop in a 94.
Style 20.
For Laurie Hine at 20.
Yes. Who's our style judge today? Okay, you guys.
There's two of you. You guys.
Thank you. Love it.
Wow. Yeah, Laurie Hine maxes out the style points, and rightly so, as we go back on the line to Kevin Passeur. An 88.7 down in 19th position. Nodsy says, I'm ready to go. Slams the car into gear. Full carbon fibre kit on this car for 2026. As he clips the limiter coming off the line, flicks it across, dabs the handbrake, gets himself up. Oh, a little dab again on the foot brake. Kevin Passeur a little unsure there in outside zone 1 now, starts to feel comfortable. Fires it in to outside zone 4, slams on the angle nice and early, gets on the throttle, picks up inner 5, as now Kevin Passeur flicks the car for 7, looks good, steady, big angle dialed in for Kevin Passeur as he looks for the final outside zone. The car looks so dialed right now as Kevin Passeur gets it across the line.
There we go, still as quick as always, but now he's adding a little bit more angle to it. He's adding a little bit more style. Yeah, a little bit more style. Yeah, taking the book out of Laurie's. So it's good on him. He is another driver that kind of needs that little bit of a wake-up call when it comes to style. He can be pretty technical. He can do everything the judges ask for, but we need him to do what the fans ask for too, and that's the difference maker. But this is good. A few mistakes here and there, but I would say it's a progression from what we saw before. 88.7, and the judges seem to be handing out a little bit better now. But I also think the driving's getting that much better. The track conditions are better. It's just a good time to say the least. So see what they say.
Yeah, I mean, look. As much as this is a formality, right? Qualifying is a formality. It's all about finding that best lead line driver and gridding those guys in 32 places.
Yeah.
Drifting's all about style. That's how it started, right?
Yeah.
It was all about showing off in the car. It's what a lot of these drivers are bringing back, I think, for 2026.
Yeah, which I'm here for. I think the line is pretty much locked in. So the next thing is style and angle, and those both go hand in hand. So judges taking a pretty good look here right now to see how many wheels he went off.
Yeah, definitely. That's what the judges are looking at right now. A score drops in a 91.7 for Kevin Passeur, and a huge improvement. Moves himself up into 9th place at the moment. As we go back to the start line, it's going to be James Dean, a 93.5, down in 6th at the moment. And James Dean sits on the line, thumbs up, ready to rock and roll. But what's James Dean got to say about it?
Right now, I feel very excited going into the new season. My favourite thing to do is put on a show for the fans. So I want to be aggressive, I want to chase hard, I want to do big angle lead runs, and just put on a show and hopefully get on the podium.
Put on a show, throw on some big angle, put on a show for the fans.
I mean, he's done everything else.
Well, I mean,
so
he's got a 93.5, so he's 6th place. To top it, he's got to go more than a 95.5. Is he just going to go do or die? Is he going to throw in a run for the fans, a run for the highlight reel? We're about to find out, and this could be a highlight reel run for James Dean as he puts that Mustang to the edge of the circuit. A little left foot brake lock up as he comes through inner 2. Down he comes, big angle fired on. Oh, James Dean almost backwards. That is absolutely phenomenal from James Dean as he now absolutely fires away from the drone, flicks the car into outside zone 8. Dean right to the edge of the circuit, flicks it across once again as he doesn't lift off the accelerator the whole run.
What a gift. Oh, 360 to end it. Not worth anything, but oh man. What a gift we all get to receive, and that's watching the legendary run of James Dean. Just anything he wants to do with the car, it seems like he can just do it. He gets on throttle. He's lit the tires up the entire way, and I really don't know if he took off the throttle more than 2% of this run.
No.
All the way through, he plows the hard part's going to be, I don't know if he's going to have any tires to even get back to the pits at this point. But look at this.
Backwards.
That's it. That's the only spot that he lifts. And look at how calm he is. And there, handbrake, and handbrake, and handbrake.
Barely any handbrake.
And then look at his right foot. It's just there.
Buried.
Yeah. It's it's just buried. Oh, man.
That is absolutely unbelievable from James
crazy.
Dean.
Look at the smoke.
Wow.
I love it.
A little dab at outside zone 8 stays just absolutely full tilt though.
Yeah.
Dean is on a flyer.
Oh, man.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. It's a great time for drifting. That 93 on that run doesn't improve.
93 for James Dean, and they didn't count the 360, which is poor.
Yeah.
Poor from
Poor
the judges.
taste.
Yeah,
Poor
poor taste. We're back on the line with our Korpolinski, the surgeon, as we nicknamed him last year for his clinical lead lines and those surgical battles.
Yeah.
What can he do right now? Brand new build, the same car. 2JZ Nissan 200SX S14, 900 horsepower.
Ooh.
Nice flick, big handbrake drag though through the start of scoring. We know the judges not really liking that too much, but we'll see how he gets on as he starts to now collect the dots. A 90.7 at the moment, 11th place for Korpolinski. Much nicer though from 4 to 5 as Korpolinski opens up the throttle. This car looks so dialed, so easy and nice to drive as Korpolinski puts it right where it needs to be. It's predictable from Korpolinski and it's so clean. That technical line driving back once again for 2026 as Korpolinski gets it across the line.
Yeah, very, very clean again. I mean, he definitely showed a lot of style at initiation. That was a big old flick out. I want to see more of that throughout the run too. I want to see that crazy transition, but it's tough when you want to be that clean through everything. Taking a risk, like flicking a car super hard from zone to zone, it's not one that he normally takes.
No, it certainly isn't. He's too calculated for that.
Yeah, he's so calculated, but it's a great run. It's very clean. That's the best way I can put it. There's no drama in it, which is the best and worst part about it.
Yeah, it certainly is.
I know a lot of drivers love chasing him because you just know where he's going to be on track the whole time. He's going to be quick, he's going to have a good amount of angle through the whole thing, and he's going to nail every zone. There we are. More incredible shots blasting through the smoke.
Such good shots. So look at that. You can see right inside the car of Korpolinski pedaling away. And this 200SX.
He lets off fairly early on. Like
yeah.
A lot of drivers we were seeing handbrake extension all the way through the zone and past it by a good chunk, couple of meters in a few cases. But he does it through the zone, and then as soon as that line pops up, he comes off the brake.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Judges there just deliberating the score as we await that to drop in for Pavel Korpolinski, the second run under his belt, as we start to get into the last drivers in the championship. The top three, in fact, coming up. We have Jack Shanahan up next, who currently sits on an 89.5.
In a freshly rebuilt top end in that engine, just a quick reminder.
I mean, what a story that was for the Shanahans, and I'm sure we'll find out more about that on social media. A 91.5 is a slight improvement for Pavel Korpolinski, but the consistency, again, back for Korpolinski. On the line, Jack Shanahan, an 89.5, currently sits down in 18th position, but we know Jack Shanahan, historically, the second run is always the do or die. It's the show reel run, it's the highlight reel run. And here we go as he slams through the gears. Shanahan fires that car in, hardly any handbrake as he puts the car to the edge of the circuit. Jack Shanahan dials on the angle, looks for inner two and picks it up beautifully as Shanahan on an incredible lead line. And look at the angle thrown in outside zone 4. On throttle nice and early. Shanahan means this one more than ever. Smoke billows from the back of the 2JZ Toyota GT86 as Shanahan puts it to the edge of the circuit, fulfills all of outside zone 8 to the edge of the track. Shanahan fires full throttle into the final zone and across the line.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh,
and what a beautiful shot there with the sun through the window and the smoke in the cabin.
Oh, man, it's wild. It's wild. They drive so much better when everything's against them.
When you've just rebuilt the car in a paddock in 20 minutes.
And, like, you know, they had an incredibly busy offseason. They competed a whole bunch. They didn't have a lot of time to run through these cars. So, you know, there's things that they said, oh, we wish we would have got to this, wish we would have got to that. So they just, every time that a wall is put up, they have to knock it down. And when it's when life is easy that the Shanahans don't seem to drive well. And today was not easy for them at all. A couple of practice runs in our second session, which is arguably the most important part of this entire day outside of competition. But Jack Shanahan just makes it look easy. He's there. He's definitely in this conversation for a championship already. We said earlier that, like, Connor, one of the biggest people he's got to worry about is going to be Jack this year. And that's every year.
No, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be his brother.
Yeah.
The sibling rivalry is always going to play through as well. But this man has the same equipment. So it's just driver on driver. And the two identical Toyota GT86s. It's going to be tough this year for anyone who wants to come up against any one of the Shanahans or any one of the drivers right now, I'm going to say, in the top 10 in qualifying.
Our top 10 is completely locked, but we've seen, I mean, some of these new faces are up there as well. But don't worry, we'll get to our full qualifying rundown here shortly. But Jack Shanahan with a 94.5.
A 94.5 for Shanahan, jumps himself up the order into 5th position. And news coming from the paddock. A big upset already at round 1. Wieniec won't take the second qualifying run. Engine problems for Piotr Wieniec, so he stays locked in where he is right now. Wow, Wieniec stays where he is locked in right now. We move it back to the line. It's going to be Connor Shanahan to round out qualifying here at round 1 of Drift Masters 2026 Rome. Flicks it across the track. Shanahan 16th. Where can he get? Where can he climb up the ladder? This is beautiful so far for outside zone 1 as Shanahan puts it across outside zone 3. Big flick, big absolute risk-reward moment for Shanahan as he now jumps onto the throttle for outside zone 6 and 7. It looks good as Shanahan looks to fulfill all of the zones. This is unbelievable from Shanahan. He goes for the final outside zone, foot flat to the floor and across the line. Your champion in fight is bringing the fight.
Dude, the throttle commitment all the way outside of the hairpin. He went full throttle all the way through 8. Like, it is mental, absolutely mental what that run just was. Comes into initiation, he's barely on the track. He's scraping the edge of that white line all the way through. Fires through, massive amounts of angle coming through 4, gets on throttle immediately after getting that part done, and then this is it. He just plants it. Comes through 5, 6 looks crazy, powering through 7, and then it was 8 for me that just put my jaw to the floor. Look at this, the amount of angle he's got through 8. He's basically backing the car around, and you can see it. Look at, he's looking behind him through that part of the track, and then a nice smooth transition out to 9 and back up the hill. Connor Shanahan, your defending champion, is not going to be taken down easy.
He's not going to be taken down easy, and he's a man that would love to do nothing more than to win it back to back. And he's looking good. He's looking good at the moment.
Looking phenomenal. Look at this, man. They said they said in practice, like, the best thing you can do is to be just staring straight ahead and basically 90 degrees through that section, and that's exactly what it looked like. So is he going to take that top spot? That is the big question. Can he knock down, Dwayne McKeever, the Northern Smoke Machine?
Yeah, I mean, look, Dwayne McKeever at the moment sits in first place, a 95.5 and a 90 on the first run. Wieniec drops down because he won't take that second qualifying run, so that's kind of upset the apple cart a little bit. We're seeing shots of Shanahan now back into the paddock with the team, and we're waiting that score to drop in. Judges, I mean, Jacob.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It was unbelievable.
I think Connor wanted to go see that run himself. He jumped out of that car so quick. Yeah.
He was like, where's the replay? Yeah, I mean, he is as well. Look at this. Shots inside the Shanahan pits. Hours ago, these two guys thought they were both out of the show. What will he score right now? As Shanahan's score drops in. It's a 95.5!
Wow!
Wow! And we are locked out at the top. Both our first and second place qualifiers both scored a 95.5 and a 90. That, Jacob, is insane.
This is nuts. This is nuts. This is as close as it's ever been. I'm gonna have to go back to the rule book to remember all the tiebreakers, because there's so many different scores in here that are locked up. Maybe the most exciting qualifying day we've had? Definitely this year, it's the first one, but I mean, looking back, I don't know many other days where we've been this high up in the orbit. Wow, what a day.
Unbelievable. Look at that. Job done for the Shanahans, and as I say earlier on today, it looked like it was all over for the Shanahans. A broken engine, a broken gearbox, both sides of the team running around, scrabbling, trying to get it, and this is how it stacks up. Dwayne McKeever wins a qualifying here at round 1 of Drift Masters 2026, followed by his very good friend, Connor Shanahan. Peter Vujicek, though, takes 3rd step.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Will they get their car fixed in time for tomorrow? Who knows? It's going to be a long night for the Polish champion down there. We move through some real heavy hitters in our top 32. Nikolass, Bertans, Nasser, Alharbali, Connor Falvey down in 23rd place.
Yeah. Some big upsets.
Yes, some big upsets. Dave Egan, though, the highlight for me, getting into the show is, oh, wow, and I'm hearing over this headset that Dave Egan will face off against Vujicek in our top 32. And these are the guys we lost. Yves, Meyer, Konstantyn, Shchurenko. So all of our wild cards out, and as well, Karim Hany, the rookie for 2026, out at the first hurdle. Jacob, it's been incredible so far.
It's been nuts, and I'm already excited to see what this bracket looks like, as we've already got a quick preview of it there from our director. Oh, man.
Unbelievable. Well, Becky's down there with Connor Shanahan. Becky, that was an unbelievable qualifying session that finished on something we've never seen before.
Yes, absolutely, Ian. I'm down here with a very happy Connor Shanahan. Connor, you're here to defend a championship, and that is looking good out there. 95.5 on the board, putting you in 2nd position. But you just said to me, I was 0.5 away. I was 1.5 away. How are you feeling?
Yeah, you always want to win. Rusty. Last time I drove this car was in Poland last year, which probably half the world doesn't believe that, but that's true. Great off-season. This year has been really good for me, and enjoyed the off-season, back in my practice cars, back with my brother at home, where all, this journey started, and I'm just enjoying, looking forward to the season again. It's cool to come back and be the #1 car here after winning the championship last year, but of course we want to win qualifying, but I'll take 2nd place and start working hard tomorrow.
Absolutely, the hard work does start tomorrow, but let's have a quick chat about this track. We didn't obviously make it here last year. You're here now. Can you tell us from your point of view, what is it like to drive? Is it fun? Is it smooth? Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's a hard track. I would say on paper it's a track what doesn't suit my style. The plan coming in is to hang on here and hang on in Spain, and then game on at Mondello, and after that again. I think I'm very more suited to a track like Germany, Poland, where we can really get the proximity out of it, but we'll try to take the max out of everything what we can this weekend. It's a hard track, a lot of driving. Glad that we qualified high, because I think tomorrow a lot of this game is going to come down to who has the tires, what lasts the longest. We were struggling a little bit in practice. It sucks that we can't use the tire what we want to end this championship anymore, and it's a big change for the team, but I've got great guys around me. My brother knows exactly what to do, how to win, and always gives me that car, so hopefully he can figure it out in the morning.
Let's talk about those tyres. I mean, is it because of the length of the track, or is it just so much harder on them that you're struggling to keep the rubber on?
Yeah, I think everybody is quite similar on this track. It's a very long, high-speed track, a lot of throttle use, so yeah, I think everybody has some problems quite similar. So tomorrow will be an interesting day. I think tomorrow not only the best driver will win, but the best team will win, so hopefully that's us.
Let's talk about the cars as well. I mean, you've had a few little upsets within here. I mean, we had some gearbox issues, some engine issues. You also have a new teammate as well. Let's have a little update.
Yeah, it's great. Yesterday, I think it was quite nice for me as, to step back. Sometimes I have to look always as a driver in this team, but as an owner of this team, I'm incredibly proud of this journey. We started as a family chasing a dream, and now it's arguably one of the most competitive teams in this championship. So it's quite a cool story. Every season we come back. The car is still the same old girl. 2 championships this car has. She's probably like the oldest one of the group now, but she still keeps on giving. So no real changes. Upgraded to a bigger Pulsar turbo, and a huge partnership partnering with Trinity Racing, which is a long story of history. And I'm super proud of our partnership together, and it gives a good opportunity to a new team driver. Of course, we're going to miss Fionn on the team. Fionn was a great asset of the team, but I'm sure he'll be back at some point. But yeah, the team is strong. Team is moving in the right direction. Thank you to the partners who make this happen and come back every year.
Brilliant, Connor. Thank you so much, and good luck in the fight tomorrow, guys.
Thank you, Becky. Some real good insight there of what's been going down. And what an incredible qualifying session, Jacob. I'm still absolutely gobsmacked that we finished with 2 almost tied points. And there we go. That's how the points lay. And our top 8 drivers clawing those points. And, I mean, for me, the only one thrown into the mix there that was a bit of a shock was Mika Keski-Korpi. Apart from that, it's the same usual suspects in qualifying that are locking out those top spots.
Yeah. I mean, Dwayne getting up there, though, that top spot, fantastic. After a rough season last year, it's great to see him back up there and driving so strong.
It certainly is, and to see him in this new car, and obviously rumour is Dwayne only driving this car for 2 rounds.
I don't know.
Of Drift Masters, and he'll be back in his old steed for the 3rd round in Mondello Park in Kildare. But we don't know. We might see Dwayne pilot this car for the rest of the season if things go his way. But let's take a look, Jacob, at what is going to go down tomorrow. This is what it's all about, the top 32, ladies and gentlemen, and this is who's going to be facing who. And I can already see some stacked battles.
Yeah, there's a ton in here. I mean, Simon Olsen, Diego Correa, that's going to be really interesting. Connor Shanahan, Kevin Piscolti, that might be a top one there. And Laurie Heinen and George Christoforou, that's going to be nuts. What about you?
Yeah, Juha Ritten and Connor Falvey for me. I'm going to fire it over there. That is going to be unbelievable. But look at this. Viansek to take on Egan. 2 A90 Supras. 2 guys that have spent a lot of time developing them. One guy that was a rookie last year who has now got himself into the show at the 1st round, taking on a man that is a former Drift Masters champion. That is going to be seriously interesting.
Oh, man.
This is going to be interesting. Look at these. This is the cars on circuit right now. Arguably, I'm going to say, my own opinion, Viansek's car is without doubt the best A90 Supra in the world. Dave Egan, though, is chasing him down. A lot of development work in that car over the off-season.
It's probably going to be the best looking battle we're going to have, that's for sure.
Side-by-side A90 man. Supras.
And for Dave, what a learning experience to go head-to-head with someone like Piotr. And I think Piotr's, I mean, I wouldn't back down.
It certainly is. Well, that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen, for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back live tomorrow for our top 32 at 1:45 local time. From me, Jacob, and Becky, and everyone here at Drift Masters, we'll see you tomorrow live on Red Bull TV.